production. Rialta Fusion is building its new headquarters and research facility at the former Oscar Mayer site, creating more than 600 new jobs. Governor Tony Evers weighing in.
Folks, fusion is the energy of the future. In Wisconsin is where fusion research becomes reality.
Company leaders say they chose Wisconsin over competing states because its research expertise, manufacturing base, and support for the growing fusion energy industry.
Senators on Capitol Hill grilling Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche in a confirmation hearing to make the position permanent. The proceedings include questioning on the president's ill-fated anti-weaponization fund that Congress had all but shut down earlier this year. ABC's Jay O'Brien.
John Cornyn said, is there anything in writing foregoing the plaintiff's ability, the president's ability in this case, to demand that this weaponization fund be created? Because the attorney general has said it's dead, but there's nothing in writing that reflects that. And he pressed Todd Blanche on that. And the attorney general said, well, it wouldn't be the plaintiff's ability to create this fund. It would be up to the department to create it in the first place. But he largely sidesteps the question. What he did say that was notable is that he is open. He said the department is okay with, in his words, legislation that would ban the creation of an anti-weaponization fund like this.
Blanche also acknowledging there were some errors in the vetting of Epstein files released to the public. However, he did defend his handling of the case.
ICE is pausing traffic stops after the deadly shootings of 2 drivers in less than a week during immigration operations. Investigators in Maine looking into 2 new developments. News Nation's Marcus Espinosa.
This video of Joan Sebastian Guerrero on the ground. That is the immediate aftermath of the shooting involving the ICE officers. Now, it's the second such shooting of its kind in a week, the other one taking place in Texas. The DHS also responding to reports that the ICE officer involved had little experience as an ICE officer. This was the statement in which they said that the ICE officer in question has nearly a decade of federal law enforcement experience with required training.
President Trump posted on social media he wants the traffic stops to eventually continue.
News about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P all up, though modestly, on the afternoon. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. More details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time coming up on 12:05.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the July Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save now during the Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com. Time
for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Brewers get back to work Friday night against the Marlins. The team has not yet announced its starting pitchers for that 3-game series. Jacob Mizorowski says he'll be ready to go when called upon.
Yeah, I'm going to go back home and get some treatment from our trainers and
work out, get ready for whatever game they decide I'm going to throw. First game, second game, third game, fourth game, fifth game, somewhere in there. I don't know.
Mizorowski was scratched from his most recent start due to arm fatigue. Brewers are reportedly finalizing a trade with the Houston Astros that would send pitcher Lance McCullers Jr. to Milwaukee. McCullers finished 7th in Cy Young Award voting in 2021, but has had numerous injuries ever since. World Cup resumes this afternoon with Argentina taking on England. And the matchup begins at 2 o'clock. Winner will face Spain in Saturday's World Cup final. And the Bucks continue Summer League play tonight against the Hornets. Rookie guard Braden Burries averaging 22 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals per game in Summer League play.
Let's look at the roads now. Your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. As far as delays go, we got 3 pockets of them. 4145 south from Appleton Avenue down towards Hampton. Northbound on Highway 100 up towards Capitol Drive. 94 heading west, 35th Street through the construction zone past the stadium to Mitchell will be on the brakes. Also in Waukesha County, extra delays starting around Sunny Slope and extending over towards Calhoun. Off the main freeway system, meanwhile, we are seeing some consequences of this recent heat in the way of some pavement buckling. Right lane is going to be closed on Highway 32 south at Uleo Parkway, and also in the Oconomowoc area, Highway 67 heading south right around Wisconsin Avenue. The right lane is closed there due to pavement buckling in that area.
Heat advisory in effect for all of southeastern Wisconsin until 8 o'clock tonight. An air quality advisory also in effect until noon on Thursday. Hot and humid. Smoke arrives this evening into southeastern Wisconsin. High of 93, heat index approaching 100 degrees. Warm, humid, and smoky tonight with a low of 72. Thursday, a smoky haze, warm and humid, slight chance for a pop-up storm, and a high of 85. Sunny for your Friday, warm and humid at the high of 90 degrees. It's currently 92 in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Adam Roberts.
Oh, happy National Hot Dog Day to those who keep score at home on this July 15th for you check writers.
Same to you, sir.
I do like a Chicago dog, and that's about all from Chicago I really kind of like. I do like a Chicago dog, though.
I do enjoy a good deep dish. I will grant them that, but I also do love the Chicago dogs. And I am also happy, Greg, that it seems like most baseball parks across the country really have embraced dollar dog days. I think that's just a win for everyone, Brewers included.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Well, would you like a sign of wildfire smoke with your heat dome?
Throughout Canada, there are more than 800 wildfires burning. All that smoke provoking air quality alerts from the Great Lakes to New York and New England. In Manchester, New Hampshire, a thick, haunting haze turning skies an eerie shade of orange.
The entire state of Wisconsin currently under a statewide air quality advisory thanks to that wildfire smoke.
That is entering into Wisconsin late this afternoon and into the evening. It'll be warm, humid, and smoky tonight. The smoke continues for our Thursday. Warm and humid, slight chance of a pop-up afternoon storm. Highs in the mid-80s.
That's TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson. So the Wisconsin DNR and the National Weather Service has issued this alert due to heavy wildfire smoke that's pushing south from Minnesota and really north of that from Ontario. So the advisory is in effect until at least noon on Thursday. It's likely to be extended. It reminds us of this air quality index chart. Mm-hmm. So really anywhere below 100, you're in pretty good shape. Though, 80 to 100, it's maybe a little noticeable. You might irritate your eyes a little bit. An air quality index over 100 is considered unhealthy for sensitive groups. And right now, we're perfectly fine here in southeastern Wisconsin. I'm looking at it right now, in AQI of 41, which is perfectly healthy. However, if you're up in the Minocqua area today, we were looking at some live video of the scene in Minocqua, one of their harbor cams, and you can barely see the water. Yep. I mean, the air quality is severely affected in our northern part of our state.
Yeah, and it's spreading all across, not just Wisconsin. Also, I checked the images out of Michigan, too, over by the Mackinac Island Bridge. That's barely visible. Some of the video coming out of Ontario, too, is pretty wild of some of these fires. We'll check in with the Storm Team 4 crew coming up in the next hour for the latest. Also today, a major money deadline for Wisconsin's governor's race. 11:59 p.m. tonight is the deadline for all candidates to submit campaign finance reports to the Wisconsin Ethics Commission. May seem a little dry, as it normally can be. However, the deadline this time takes on added significance Following the news earlier this week that current lieutenant governor and gubernatorial candidate Sarah Rodriguez fired her campaign manager following the discovery of finance reporting errors.
This was not just a breach of my trust, but the trust of our volunteers, our supporters, and the voters who deserve better. But I'm not waiting around here. If I were trying to hide something, I wouldn't be here today telling you about it.
We'll see what those numbers are like when Rodriguez releases her report by the deadline today. She has said she has around $200,000 in cash on hand, well below what she originally thought. Since that press conference Monday, the knives have come out against her. All other 4 Democratic candidates piling on top of Rodriguez to varying degrees. On the Republican side, meanwhile, Congressman Tom Tiffany already getting ahead of the game. He says he'll report raising more than $8 million during this latest reporting period. Covers the start of January all the way to the end of June. Says he'll enter the next reporting period with around $3 million cash in hand. We'll get more on this from Channel 12's Matt Smith coming up in the 2 o'clock hour.
Oh, remember when Elon Musk used social media posts to offer $1 million payouts to voters who backed Brad Schimmel? Well, a bipartisan Wisconsin panel in the state finds that Musk likely broke state law when he handed out those checks to voters in the 2025 state Supreme Court election.
The Wisconsin Elections Commission has referred complaints against billionaire Elon Musk to prosecutors, saying there's probable cause he violated the state's election bribery law. The panel points to Musk's social media posts and $1 million checks handed to voters just before the 2025 Wisconsin Supreme Court election. The Brown County District Attorney will now decide whether to file criminal charges. Musk's attorneys have argued the giveaways were protected free speech and designed to promote opposition to what they called activist judges.
It's ABC's Dave Packer. So Musk handed out checks to 3 voters, including 2 in person at a rally in Green Bay in March of 2025. This was just days before the election. Schimmel ended up losing, for what it's worth. Meanwhile, Musk's legal team previously argued that the giveaways were protected under the First Amendment and is nothing more than a form of political free speech. They maintained the payments were designed to generate grassroots momentum, not buy voters.
Certainly made a lot of headlines, though, at the time, and these questions were raised even then.
It is 12:14 on WTMJ. Naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, and it feels like we're back to where we were a couple of months ago. And what could that mean for gas prices? We'll explore after this.
Vince Vitrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
Hey, thanks, Vinny. Horicon Bank, founded by inventors, fueled by community, focused on business. What a great story here. A bank that first opened its doors in 1896 is still going strong in the state of Wisconsin. And an amazing story and a local story. That's right. When you work with Horicon Bank, you're keeping all those dollars right here in the state of Wisconsin. They understand you. They understand Wisconsinites, and they've been doing it for 130 years. Financing requests with Horicon Bank can be approved in days, not weeks. Your banker gets it. They understand you. They understand your business. They understand your goals, and will work with you to help achieve those goals. They get the job done. It's Horicon Bank. Together doing good for 130 years, and member FDIC.
Are you hosting an event, launching something new, wanting to get the word out about your part of the state? Be a featured guest on the WTMJ Experience Wisconsin show. Share your story, promote your event or business, and connect with fans all across the state. I'm John Merkier. I'd love to interview you. We reach listeners from Milwaukee to Madison, Green Bay to La Crosse, everywhere in between. It's Experience Wisconsin. Ready to shine a spotlight on your business or company? Email me, john@WTMJ.com for more information. john@WTMJ.com. Hey, WTMJ's John Merkier here. For pilots and aviation lovers, there's nothing like making a trip to EAA AirVenture Oshkosh. July 20th through the 26th, get up close to thousands of aircraft. Learn about the newest innovation. Get hands-on with experts and witness breathtaking daily air shows, some even at night. There's no better way to immerse yourself into the world of aviation than by checking out the world's greatest aviation celebration. Fuel your passion for flight. EAA.org is the website. July 20th through the 26th, EAA.org.
Heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Air quality alert in effect as well. We've got highs topping out about 96 today. Heat index pushing north of 100. That haze and wildfire smoke starts to affect us in southeastern Wisconsin in the evening hours tonight. It'll be hazy on Thursday. Still hot, a high of 88 degrees. Friday's high 90. Could see a chance of a thunderstorm. It's 93 in Milwaukee at 12:17. So the war with Iran appears to be intensifying today after CENTCOM announced the U.S. has completed another round of strikes on Iran targeting coastal defense systems. ABC's Mary Bruce.
This fight is now focused on a battle for the Strait of Hormuz, which ships were able to pass through freely before the war started. Iran has been firing on cargo ships and American allies. The U.S. overnight launching a 7-hour wave of strikes aimed at degrading Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping. And the president says these attacks will escalate in the coming days.
So the fighting continues, more attacks on the horizon. The memorandum of understanding is long gone. That is a distant memory here. So what does it all mean for the cost of oil and what you pay at the pump? Welcoming back to the program, Patrick DeHaan, the head of petroleum analysis for Gas Buddy. Hi, Patrick.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's go back to late May, Patrick. We saw gas prices peak about $4.56 a gallon in the country, and then they dipped. They back into the $3 range, a little north of $3. But what do the current escalations mean? Do they mirror the conditions that caused that historic shock back in May?
Well, things are a little bit differently. We're 4 months into it, so it's not quite the same as it was back in March and April when, we initially saw all of this occurring. Certainly, very noteworthy still to see new escalations and attacks, and that's why the price of oil earlier this week jumped 10%. Now, gas prices really haven't moved, at least in Milwaukee, yet, but that is likely coming. The wholesale price of gasoline, along with oil and diesel, have all rallied significantly this week because the risk calculation has changed. The strait has closed. In addition to what's happening between the U.S. and Iran, the other factor here that is playing somewhat of a stealth role is Ukrainian attacks on Russian oil refineries. Russia traditionally exports a significant amount of oil, but also gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. And with those attacks on some of the largest refineries in Russia, Russia has actually banned exports, meaning that Russia is no longer a major supplier of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel for the time being. And that's also causing a bit of a disconnect between oil, which today, just under $80, isn't too expensive, but that is still leading to the national average that is up to almost $3.90 a gallon. So a lot of consumers looking at oil and scratching their heads saying, where's the disconnect? Well, the Strait of Hormuz also blocks refined products like gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. So it's less focused on oil, but with those Ukrainian attacks on Russian refineries, as well as the Strait being closed to refined products, that's why we're seeing a bit of a jolt. And like I said, for Milwaukee, we haven't seen it yet with average prices at $3.60, but prices will likely inch up here in the days ahead to mirror the jumps in energy prices that we're seeing this week.
So you kind of alluded to it just there, Patrick, but people who may be listening to this and knowing that the spike could be coming they may be thinking right now, is today the day to fill up? Can I wait until tomorrow? In your analysis, how quickly after events in the Middle East or elsewhere does it take to translate into these higher prices for Wisconsinites?
Well, pretty quickly. What happens in oil markets today gets filtered down to what stations are paying tonight. Now, stations are already paying a higher price than they were earlier this week, so they haven't passed it along yet. And that's why, as an analyst, I can say, well, it's coming. I don't know when retailers are going to pass along the increase, but it's there. We're already seeing most areas across the country are seeing a big jump. In fact, the national average so far today is up another couple cents. And while that doesn't sound significant, keep in mind that that is also the average of 150,000 stations in the U.S. So traditionally, the national average only moves by a few fractions of a penny, but we're already seeing prices so far today in places like Arizona up 6 cents, Michigan, Georgia, Florida, all up 6 cents on average. And like I said, that is actually a far lower number than what is probably actually happening on the street. So retail prices are heading up. They haven't done it just yet looking at prices in Wisconsin and Milwaukee. So filling up sooner rather than later is probably a very good bet.
If we go back to May, Patrick, I recall reading some of your tweets indicating that the Midwest specifically was going to see some disproportionate price hikes. Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio come to mind. Why is it specific to those states, or was it then, and why is it slightly different now?
Well, it's specific to those states back in late April because of the amount of refining issues. We just talked about refineries as far away as Russia and the Middle East. But we were having a lot of issues here in the Great Lakes states with refineries back in late April. Not only was seasonal maintenance happening, there were unexpected outages, and that kind of was a perfect storm. In addition, back in late April, we're also seeing the surge in oil from the U.S. situation with Iran. So, thankfully, we're not having any major refining issues at this moment, and there's a reason for that. Because, again, that disconnect that many Americans sense between the price of oil and gasoline is actually pushing refineries to basically run as hard as they can. In fact, data out just earlier this morning showed that several regions of the United States, which is broken down to 5 regions, the Midwest, saw refineries operating at above 99% of their capacity. So, thankfully, no issues, and refineries are basically firing on all cylinders, but that also leaves very little margin for error.
So then if people are looking for some sort of silver lining on top of that, then, Patrick, is there, as you're seeing it, are we looking at a temporary spike? Because it seems 100% almost certain that the prices are going to go up. But is it temporary, or is there some evidence this could be sustained long term?
Well, I think everyone's different of long-term is different. In my mind as an analyst, nothing's long-term for gasoline, right? Even in 2022 when we went to record-setting levels, by the end of the year, gas prices had fallen $1 a gallon. So gas prices never hold still. They are all subject to continued development. So, could it be long-term? Well, that's a better question for the White House. How long do they continue to be active in the Middle East? How long will the Strait remain closed? That decision, unlike many others, really is empowered by the White House right now, and how long they enact or how long they're looking at remaining active between attacking Iran or de-escalating the situation.
Patrick DeHaan, the head of petroleum analysis for Gas Buddy, joining us here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Patrick, always appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. So if the U.S. resumes a full naval blockade, right, that's what you got to watch out for, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, the war is one component of this, and the Strait of Hormuz is a component to the war. But if that is opened up and the war continues, you will see gas prices go down eventually. But Iran's got a long history of trying to draw these things out, trying to sort of wear down their opponent and just sort of play the long-term game. So I don't know when this is going to end. I don't know if anybody knows when this is going to end.
It's also interesting, too, because remember about this time yesterday, we were talking about the president and his proposed 20% toll he was going to charge for all shipping that was going through. It seemed like he was 100% sold on that. And then we saw an immediate about face. And it just kind of, I think, goes to show how critical not only this strip of shipping is, but that Iran sees this as its major playing card. It's ace in the hole in trying to negotiate things as this war continues.
I'm not sure how you even go about pulling that off, that toll, by the way. So, but you're right. That was an about face, and there may have been some communication within Washington, D.C. that said, hey, we can't do that. Mm-hmm. We can't physically figure out a way to do that, so we got to backtrack from that. We'll ask Scott McFarland about that and more coming up at about 12:35. Coming up on 12:26 here on WTMJ, we'll get you headlines coming up in just a few.
Hey, moms, dads, grandparents, school's out, summer's here, you need an outing. WTMJ's John Merck here. I've got a great idea. Take your kids, your grandkids to the Mine Chef family restaurant in Hartford, the area's most affordable staycation destination. Sometimes kids complain about restaurants. I don't like the food. It's no fun there. At the Mine Chef, they're going to love it. They have a cool and comfortable world-class game room. Over 70 games, the easiest ones for your little kids. Monday and Thursday, buy one pizza, get a second pizza free. Sunday through Thursday, kids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. And it's a great menu. Your kids will love the Mine Shaft, especially your teenagers. Have your kids' birthday party at the Mine Shaft. Free party rooms. They even have your cake and no cooking, no cleaning. Grandparents, take your grandkids to the Mine Shaft. They will love you more than ever. The Mine Shaft, beautiful downtown Hartford or near EAA in Oshkosh. Super affordable, super fun, great summer outing. Sunday through Thursday, kids 5 and under eat free. It's the Mine Shaft.
The Mine Shaft's game room opens at noon.
Bo here from Ridgetop Exteriors. Southern Wisconsin got hit hard with hail recently. If your home took a beating, now's the time to take action. We've been delivering top quality roofing, siding, and window services locally for over 23 years. With free damage assessments and insurance experts on staff, we've been your licensed, local, and trusted contractor since day one. Don't wait until small damage becomes a big problem. Turn to Ridgetop Exteriors today. RidgetopExteriors.com. That's RidgetopExteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors. 988 Wisconsin Lifeline. How can I help you?
Share hope, find purpose when you become a 988 Lifeline counselor. The 988 Wisconsin Lifeline provides free and confidential support to anyone in crisis. 988 has experienced tremendous growth, and more statewide counselors are needed. Staffed by Family Services, 988 counselors work remotely, are offered flexible hours, competitive compensation, benefits, and training. Apply today at 988lifelinecounselor.org. Family Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Paid for by grants from SAMHSA and the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house. Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Wednesday, July 15th. Your top story. Did the world's richest man interfere with Wisconsin elections?
I'm Adam Roberts. An iconic Kenosha diner has new ownership.
Heat advisory in effect till 8 o'clock tonight. Air quality advisory also into effect until noon on Thursday. Hot, humid, smoke arriving in southeastern Wisconsin this evening. Heat index of 103.94. Your airtime.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A day after Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin issued a temporary halt on vehicle stops by federal immigration officers, President Trump overturning that pause. It comes as ICE temporarily pauses traffic stops and after those 2 deadly shootings in Texas and Maine. Here's ABC's Victor Okendo.
Multiple sources tell ABC News the agent involved in the deadly shooting was a newly sworn-in ICE officer, but had been a law enforcement officer with the Department of Veteran Affairs since 2017. That representative for the family telling ABC News Guerrero was on his way to work. The agents were not wearing body cameras. The car's windshield covered in bullet holes.
Escalations between the U.S. and Iran continuing. The U.S. carrying out more strikes earlier today on Iranian targets. It marked the first daytime U.S. strikes on Iran since the first 40 days of the ongoing war. Satellite images also show Iran's drone and missile strikes in the region are causing some damage at installations. On Wall Street, stocks are up. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:31.
Decision Wisconsin. Election officials have found probable cause that billionaire Elon Musk violated Wisconsin's election bribery law during last year's Supreme Court race. sports.
The Wisconsin Elections Commission voted to refer 2 complaints to the Brown County District Attorney's Office. The complaints stem from Musk's promise to award $1 million checks to voters during the 2025 election, where he spent millions supporting Republican-backed candidate Brad Schimmel, who ultimately lost to Judge Susan Crawford. Prosecutors can choose to bring criminal charges over violating the state law against election bribery. The District Attorney's Office has 40 days to report back to the commission. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Meanwhile, another round of campaign finance reports are due in Wisconsin today, which will give voters a new look at the race for governor ahead of the primary coming up August 11th. WisPolitics' J.R. Ross on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Francesca Hong has this real enthusiasm, but people don't see you win statewide in November. Sarah Rodriguez, great profile for November, nurse, former healthcare minister, lieutenant governor, woman from the suburbs. But look at the campaign problems she has. Joe Brennan, great experience, but not raising money. Just go down the list of all these kind of red flags. They've all got a challenge. And then the bigger thing is, can you beat Tom Tiffany in November?
Those campaign finance reports are due to the Wisconsin Ethics Commission by 11:59 p.m.
2 people recovering after being pinned inside their vehicles following a multi-vehicle crash. Milwaukee County Sheriff's deputies responded to the 3-car collision Tuesday afternoon near the northbound I-43 Lincoln Avenue off-ramp. The first vehicle struck a light post, causing it to fall. Then an SUV swerved to avoid the crash. That caused a We Energies service truck to also swerve. That crashed into a tree. Both the We Energies driver and the driver who hit the light post had to be extricated from their vehicles and taken to the hospital. The cause of the crash is under investigation.
Speaking of the roads, with hot and humid weather continuing across Wisconsin this week, the Department of Transportation is warning drivers about pavement buckling. DOT Technical Services Supervisor Garrett Vickman speaking with our news partners at WISC TV in Madison.
It could look like essentially a breakage in the pavement, whether up or it could break down, depending. It's just a relief of pressure. If it's really severe, definitely call 911 to report that so the authorities or those can respond to it and do what they need to do to repair it.
Portions of multiple roads in the area closed right now due to pavement damage. The DOT urging drivers to slow down, stay alert, and watch for highway crews making emergency repairs.
And an iconic Kenosha diner sold to new owners after 17 years.
Julie Rittmiller and Kevin Irvin say they are selling the restaurant to new owners Pablo and Diana Escribano on July 31st. Pablo Escribano is a longtime employee of the business and has been interested in owning the 100-year-old institution for the past 3 years. The train car diner opened in 1925 and is the largest continuously operating diner in the country. The current owners are adamant that nothing is going to change. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
The Miz says, don't worry, I'll be ready to go when needed. Sports, traffic, and weather next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
Hey, John Mercure here from WTMJ. When it's time for a new vehicle, I know exactly where I'm headed. It's the place I bought my last car, and I love it. It's Griffin Ford in Waukesha. We buy our vehicles there. Right now is a great time to make your move because Griffin has one of the largest selections of new Ford vehicles in Wisconsin. That means you choose the color, trim, features you want. They're right there on the lot. They don't have to bring the car in from far away. You don't have to wait. Looking for an SUV? Griffin Ford has 47 new Ford Explorers to choose from. Savings over $8,400 on select 2026 Explorer active models. Need a truck? They've got more than 60 of those beautiful Ford F-Series pickups, including the popular F-150. Plus, qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 36 months on most new Ford models. And you'll receive a 2-year, 25,000-mile maintenance package included with most new vehicles. Shop at Griffin Ford in Waukesha, where I buy my cars. It's Griffin Ford.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. And there's just such beauty in it, If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Brewers get back to work on Friday night, taking on the Marlins at American Family Field. The team has not yet announced its starting pitchers for that series. Jacob Mizorowski says he'll be ready to go when called upon.
Yeah, I'm going to go back home and get some treatment from our trainers and work out. Get ready for whatever game they decide I'm going to throw. First game, second game, third game, fourth game, fifth game, somewhere in there. I don't know.
Mizorowski was scratched from his most recent start due to arm fatigue. Brewers are also reportedly finalizing a trade with the Astros that would send pitcher Lance McCullers Jr. to Milwaukee. McCullers finished 7th in Cy Young Award voting in 2021, but has had numerous injuries ever since. In fact, is currently on the injured list. World Cup resumes this afternoon, 2 o'clock. It gets underway with Argentina taking on England. The winner advances to face Spain in Saturday's World Cup final. And the Bucks continue Summer League play tonight against the Hornets. You can hear that game or see that game on My24.
Let's check out the roads now. Your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. First, the delays, of which there are a few. Southbound 4145 Good Hope Road down to Capitol Drive. You'll be on the brakes through the construction zone. And northbound from Highway 100 up to Capitol. East and west on 94 right past American Family Field. Just a quick tap of the brakes as you work your way through that zone. Also still have this slowdown on 94 west in Waukesha County from Sunny Slope over to Calhoun. And work continues on those 2 pavement buckling sites I mentioned earlier this hour. One on Highway 32 in Ozaukee County, just south of Uleo Parkway in the right lane. We've got a closure there, as well as on Highway 67 in Oconomowoc, right near Wisconsin Avenue. Right lane closed there as well.
Heat advisory in effect for all of southeastern Wisconsin until 8 o'clock tonight. Air quality advisory also in effect till noon on Thursday. Sunny, hot, and humid today. Heat index of 103, 94 the air temp high. Warm, humid, and smoky tonight with a low of 72. Little break perhaps on Thursday with a slight chance of a pop-up storm. It's going to be smoky and hazy, but a high of just 85 degrees. It's 93 in Milwaukee at 12:39. I think Gina got the best of him last week. We'll see if Scott McFarland, Chief Washington correspondent from the Midas Touch, can rebound. He loves all things Washington and is an aficionado of 90s R&B. Hey, Scott.
Gina's win streak ends at 1. This is Milestone from 1997. It's a group created by the artist Babyface.
Yeah, you're getting nods. Yep, nods and a thumbs up. Adam looked at me all confused trying to figure out who Babyface is, but I think Adam was born around that time. But
a little before that, thank you.
Nevertheless, we knew you'd rebound, Scott, as you always typically do. Hey, so the president is expected to deliver a primetime address from the White House on Thursday night. What do we know about what his plans are? Why is he addressing the nation?
Well, he's teasing it, kind of tantalizing, saying it's going to be big, but he's not being specific at all. The latest reporting we have is it's going to involve some type of claims about the 2020 election. This is obviously not the first time Trump has made claims about the 2020 election. He's still arguing it was rigged. It's a lie that he perpetuates, but I'm not sure whose mind's going to change at this point. I mean, people are pretty much layered into their position on the 2020 election, and if he gets the primetime airwaves is an open question right now. I'm not sure the networks are necessarily easily going to give it up if he's just going to talk again about the 2020 election. If he also promises new information on the war in Iran, that might lubricate the airwaves for him. So it's probably going to be some type of concoction in which he talks about elections and war and somehow tries to synthesize those things together.
And then you also have the follow-up too, Scott, and I know we've talked about how some of these primetime addresses may kind of toe the line of being worthy of such, but it is an election year, and Republicans, both in Wisconsin and across the country, are watching closely, because anytime the president opens his mouth, things can change on a dime. Are you sensing any concerns with everything being expensive, given the war in Iran and given things at home, that these costs could hurt Republicans in just about any way when it comes to election time in November?
can't imagine Wisconsin Republicans want him getting after the topic of the 2020 election when he has an audience with America, including Wisconsin Republican and Democrat and independent voters. It just looks like it's myopic or self-serving when the needs are clear and the issue is clear here. We had Wisconsin Democrats have an event on Tuesday about affordability. They know what's driving the electorate right now, and I suspect Wisconsin Republicans and Congressman Tiffany know that statewide the issue is affordability. And every chance you have to talk about affordability, you get caught trying on the issue. And that's a good thing. Trying to divert attention towards 2020 election stuff, it may be a pretense to try to mechanize a challenge to the 2026 elections, but it's not going to galvanize voters triumphantly.
Well, the memorandum of understanding with Iran expired. The Strait of Hormuz once again bottleneck, causing the price of oil to rise. We talk about the costs increasing, gas starting to tick up a little bit here. Freight charges going to tick up, which could mean we're paying a little more at the grocery store. So the president indicated Scott, a 20% toll on cargo ships coming through the strait would be collected, but he has since pulled back on that idea. What are the reasons for it?
Well, it was going to cause some destruction economically. Oil futures spiked over the weekend when this peace deal fell apart. And I think what the president was talking about was only going to further inflate those prices. Just the last thing you want to do for any number of reasons, not even political reasons. You don't want to see oil prices surge. It doesn't do anybody any good. So I think he stood down from that. The administration has made this argument that he is trying to exact leverage. And a lot of these pronouncements, even if they're quickly retreated from, are exacting leverage in negotiations. And that may be true. I just don't think we're seeing the fruits of it right now because we're back to war and there doesn't seem to be a clearly articulated end game or end date, which means we're in this thing now. And he can continue to make threats. Some are going to work. Some may fall flat like that one did.
How big of a foreign policy flex, too, is it for our allies in the region who maybe were working once this announcement came out to say, hey, man, what are you doing here? This isn't something that you can just do. How are you going to actually enforce this? Because the about face was really quick.
And the fracture with U.S. relationships with key allies is not new, but this is going to exacerbate it. I mean, you have the president trying to mend fences with NATO last week because Europe is cynical about this war, to put it charitably. But everything happening over the last week may have caused a regression back to where we were. These alliances are critical for any number of reasons, but not the least of which is we're going to need European allies' help, if not for Iran, if not in the Middle East, with something else down the road. And these relationships may not be easily repaired. I think you're going to see this as something Democrats campaign on, that we have to restore relationships in the world. But I think you're going to see Republicans aligned with Trump say, no, this is the president breaking norms to better American interests. It's really going to be a fundamental issue, Adam, in November.
So much closer to your home, Scott, Todd Blanche's confirmation hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee today, expected to proceed as scheduled. Looks like everything is kind of going on as planned, but despite the death of Lindsey Graham. So what's the significance of this confirmation hearing with Lindsey Graham, of course, now having passed, leaving that open seat?
Oh, Greg, I'm glad you've asked that question. I can pull back the curtain. I'm in the hearing room. I mean, I'm talking a little quieter than usual because I found a corner that's out of sight. But this thing's going to wrap up real soon. They're flying through this hearing. They are giving senators only one crack at Todd Blanche. Every senator gets 10 minutes. No senator gets a second shot at him. They have turned this landmark confirmation hearing into a half-day affair. There's going to be criticisms of that for the Republican leadership, that they're trying to minimize Todd Blanche's exposure. Lindsey Graham's chair is empty. I'm looking at it from where I'm standing. They're obviously leaving it there in honor of the senator who used to be the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. The questioning has been just like you'd expect from a Senate hearing, all over the place, unfocused. It's the last place you want to go if you want to hear coherent, logical, linear arguments or questioning. It just bounces all over the place. Lindsey Graham was to be the biggest surrogate for Todd Blanche in this hearing, but other Republicans have picked up that mantle and said that his confirmation seems imminent or inevitable. The threads that have been pulled here that I think are interesting is that they keep trying to pin him down on that slush fund. That slush fund is a stubborn issue that doesn't go away. And Blanche continues to insist he's not going to put it in writing, that the slush fund is dead. He's just going to continue verbally saying it. That seems to satisfy no one. But here's the bottom line. Greg and Adam, there's one senator to watch. We thought it was going to be Tom Tillis of North Carolina. scratch that. It's going to be John Cornyn of Texas. He's the Republican who got beaten in a primary by a Trump-endorsed challenger. John Cornyn walked out of the room a few minutes ago and said he's undecided. Doesn't like that slush fund. Doesn't like what a judge ruled on Monday, saying Todd Blanche needs to be referred for disciplinary proceedings because of how the slush fund's been handled. That's going to be the wedge issue. We won't know how the votes go for quite some time, though. They're not thinking of voting on this for weeks.
So you said that this can be kind of a discombobulated situation, these confirmation hearings, Scott, but they also are a time where these people who are on these bodies are like, they're circling like sharks. They're waiting for any moment to pounce on something that someone says that they can. As you've been watching, has there been that moment?
There's been one moment, and as often is the case, Adam, it comes from friendly fire. It comes from your own party. Republican John Kennedy of Louisiana asked Blanche if he's friends with the president, trying to communicate that there's not this loyal relationship that critics say exists. Blanche said, no, I'm not his friend, I'm his lawyer. Then he corrected himself to say, no, I used to be his lawyer. I'm now the acting attorney general. Part of the criticism here is that Todd Blanche has been acting like a defense lawyer for Trump versus the people's lawyer leading the Department of Justice. And he stepped in with that misspeaking, and that's gone viral. That's often what happens. You have something from your own party that you get comfortable, you get casual, and it trips you up. But I also, while I'm pulling the curtain back, gentlemen, I'm outside the hearing room where behavior is like a second-grade classroom with a bad sub. I don't understand why the circus always exists outside these hearings, but nevertheless, we're in the thick of it.
Scott McFarland joining us from the nation's capital. You mentioned the seat formerly occupied by Lindsey Graham is vacant. We now know that Darlene Graham-Nardone, his younger sister of the late senator, is going to replace him in the U.S. Senate as a temporary appointee. Was that expected, Scott? Just curious the reaction from Republicans in the nation's capital on the temporary replacement of Lindsey Graham.
Not a big shocker. I think, these placeholders often go to staffers, sometimes to relatives, because it truly is just a temporary gig, and there's not a whole lot of in-session work left in this Congress. The bigger question becomes, Greg, who gets the nomination? There's a 6-year Senate term in South Carolina up for grabs in November. Lindsey Graham was supposed to run for re-election, and the predecessor to Lindsey Graham, the last person to hold this seat before him, was born in 1902. The Teddy Roosevelt administration. That's how infrequently these seats come open. It's going to be a scramble drill starting a week from today when the primary nomination season opens.
Always great to connect with Scott McFarland, Chief Washington Correspondent for the Minus Touch, joining us every week here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Back to it, Scott. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you both.
You bet. You could hear it. You could hear kind of the proceedings happening behind him. He always finds a way. You feel like he's in every room when he's in Washington, D.C. and joining us.
He should check and make sure all of those congressmen have their hall pass. And if not, they need to get back inside.
It is 12:50 on WTMJ.
Here's why you can feel confident in choosing Less's Glass to fabricate and install your new shower door or glass bath enclosure. For over 40 years, we've done thousands of them. And when you want a new and modern aesthetic added to your bathroom, you want a crew with experience behind it. We fabricate new shower doors or bath enclosures to fit any space of your bathroom, all done in-house. And that's great for quality control. It could be a neo-angle shower stall, a corner enclosure, a bypass for your tub or shower, or a heavy 3/8-inch all-glass enclosure. Any idea you have, framed or frameless, we can handle it. And when you work with a family-owned company, the buck stops here, because we're not satisfied until you are. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Summer always starts with good intentions.
Kids home from school, weekend trips, more time outside.
But somehow the house is in complete chaos by June.
That's why summer is the perfect time to get organized with Inspired Closets.
We create custom solutions for garages, pantries, laundry rooms, and more so your home works better for real life.
And when everything has a place, summer feels a whole lot less stressful.
Visit us today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
Heat advisory remains in effect till 8 o'clock tonight, and then you've got an air quality advisory as well in effect until Thursday, and that's going to mean wildfire smoke infringing upon southeastern Wisconsin later tonight. It's already an issue in northern counties here in the state, but it's moving downward from Ontario through that northern part of Minnesota, through the state of Wisconsin, and into southeastern Wisconsin later this evening. It's going to hang around on Thursday as well. Today's high, 94 degrees with a heat index pushing just north of 100. We cool off a little bit on Thursday with a chance of storms in the evening hours and a high of 85. It's 93 degrees in Milwaukee at 12:52. So, big development in the debate over changing the clocks twice a year. House lawmakers passing a bill to keep daylight saving time all year long.
The days of springing forward and falling back may be numbered. The House has voted to make daylight saving time permanent. The bill would end the twice-a-year clock change requirement and give way to the later sunsets we see from March to November. The bill has been a priority for President Trump.
It's ABC's Sophie Flay. I do want to dive into this a little bit later in the program, but Wisconsin has tried to do this on a couple of occasions, and it's sort of just fallen flat on the floor.
Right,
so
yeah.
There's a couple of assembly bills that have popped up over the last couple of years, but never seems to go anywhere in the state of Wisconsin. You do have a couple of states that are already on this sort of pattern, with Hawaii and Arizona just not playing the daylight saving game. You've got a number of states that have bills ready to go, laws ready to go into effect. If it becomes a federal law, they will bring it to their state. But essentially, states will continue having their own authority on what they want to do. So whether it passes and gets signed by the president or not, you feel like the states will long have control over what they think is most logical for their situation.
Yeah, and I know that this has come up before at the federal level. I think before, so this time it has passed in the House. Now it has to pass the Senate, but last time the roles were reversed and things didn't go anywhere then. However, in the past, we haven't had a president who has made this such a key sticking point of his policies, of his administration. But you're right, Greg. If this just turns into a checkerboard where, yeah, there's a national federal law, but every state's just going to kind of do what they want to do anyway, then does it actually carry any weight?
You know, a couple of states that really jump out when we talk about this is Indiana, because Indiana is sort of divided in half. So Indiana's got to make a decision when it comes to daylight saving. The states out west are so massive and so sprawling, you feel like one state could sort of do their own thing and it doesn't really affect people in another state or a neighboring state. However, in the Northeast, all those states are so compressed, right? And in some cases, you might live in New Jersey and work in New York. And I guess in some respects, you could live in Illinois and work in Wisconsin or vice versa. So there are some states in the Northeast that said, you know, if our neighboring states do it, then we'll do it too, because it's just going to make things a lot easier when it comes to pretty much everything throughout the normal course of a day.
And it's also crazy to think, too, that hypothetical, if this were to happen, we'd be talking about some really late sunrises in the winter months around here, which I don't know, as someone who wakes up around 6:30 every single day, regardless of the time of year, that I'm a fan of.
Yeah, kids at the bus stop, that's an issue potentially as well. Much more on that's coming up in about 2:15. It's 12:55 on WTMJ. News coming up next.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Hey, Greg Matzik here for Soren's Ford on Capitol Drive in Brookfield. Was spending some time on their website last night. Amazing inventory at Soren's Ford off Capitol Drive in Brookfield, the longest running Ford dealership in the state of Wisconsin. The first year of Soren's Ford was 1917. Still family owned. In fact, fourth generation family owned Soren's. Still doing it the right way. And the original home of the nice guys. The inventory, pretty impressive. I drive by the dealership every day to and from work. As a matter of fact, was on the website a couple of hours ago and noticed that they've got an incredible stock of new and used Fords and other vehicles as well. Other makes, other models. If they don't have it on the lot, something very specific, they will find it for you. That is service. They make the buying and ownership experience great at Soren's Ford. Known as the home of the nice guys, exceptionally good customer and buying service experience with Soren's. I've worked with them on service appointments. They've done incredible work, been very kind. They've come to the house, picked up a vehicle, brought it back to their dealership, and then fixed everything that needed to be fixed and brought the vehicle back to us. You didn't even have to leave the house. That could be the same case for you with Soren's Ford. Check out the website, sorens.com. That's SOERENS.com.
Foster care isn't about finding perfect kids. It's about being there when they need you most.
Mrs. White stuck out even when she didn't have to. She took me back in. That's why I'm here.
The hard part is you got to stick around. It's only through a lot of hard times sometimes that a kid kind of gets to that turning point to then have the breakthrough where you did change that kid's life.
Exactly.
Sometimes changing a child's life starts with simply refusing to give up. Learn more at lacausa.org.
Some days you watch the game. On WTMJ Day, you live it.
Back at the track,
Fire up the grill and join the WTMJ team on August 29th, or we watch the crew deliver the highlights.
We are all witnesses.
WTMJ Day is sponsored by Big Fish Contracting, Woodman's, and Left's Lucky Town.
Would you like fries with that?
We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Set sail on an unforgettable adventure with Royal Caribbean. During the Fox exclusive July sale, you can lock in the best dates and rates for your next cruise. Experience maximum thrills and chill at sea with world-class dining, jaw-dropping entertainment, and stunning destinations from the Caribbean to Alaska. Book now to enjoy stackable discounts and secure your cabin only at Fox World Travel. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Don't wait. The sale ends July 24th.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about in my clinic kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Practical principles that make every dollar count. Small budget advertisers can't afford to waste one penny. It all has to go to work in the most effective and efficient way possible. Anderson Smith advertisers are setting themselves apart 24 hours a day, every day of the year. The power of the airwaves is real. You just have to know how to harness it. We'll get you deals you can't, and you'll get results that you won't without us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. Don't buy ad packages. Buy into a plan, even if you don't use us to do it. Because unless you're willing to sell your product or service for a lot less than what it's worth, you're setting yourself up for almost guaranteed failure. Put an ad plan together and stick to it. Tell them what sets you apart and have consistent branding so it can work for you with a snowball effect rather than just trying to make a big splash. And if you need someone who can really make your dollars work hard for you, Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 101. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, July 15th. Your top story, a former Milwaukee police officer gets probation.
I'm Adam Roberts. How close is the acting attorney general to the president?
Heat advisory in effect for all of southeastern Wisconsin till 8 o'clock tonight. Air quality advisory in effect until noon on Thursday. Hot and humid, smoke moving in later this evening. High of 94, heat index of 102. Warm tonight, humid and smoky, and a low of 72. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a former Milwaukee police officer avoids prison time for misusing the department's license plate reader system.
180 days in the Community Reintegration Center and placing Mr. Ayala on probation for a period of 12 months. Court will order a fine of $500.
Prosecutors said former MPD officer Josue Ayala repeatedly searched an ex-partner and another person's license plate while falsely listing the searches as investigations. Ayala admitted he used the department's flock safety license plate reader system nearly 180 times for personal reasons. Ayala previously resigned from MPD as part of his plea agreement. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Decision Wisconsin, a familiar face could soon be leading Waukesha County. County Board Chair and Acting County Executive Jim Heinrich is nominating former County Attorney Thomas Farley to serve as interim county executive. The announcement coming after longtime County Executive Paul Farrow died recently after a battle with cancer. Now, Farley spent 31 years working for the county, including 25 as their top attorney, before retiring from the position in 2016. If approved, Farley would serve until voters choose a new county executive in a special election coming up in December.
Members of the state Senate Judiciary Committee are scrutinizing acting attorney Todd Blanche's close relationship with President Trump, raising concerns about how independent and the Department of Justice will be under Blanche.
Democrats have long criticized Todd Blanche, a former defense attorney for President Trump, for allegedly still treating Trump like a client. During an exchange with Senator John Kennedy about his friendship with Trump, Blanche might have given fuel to that criticism with a verbal slip-up.
Are you and President Trump friends?
I'm his lawyer, was his lawyer, and now I'm the Deputy Attorney General.
Blanche attempted to clarify the gaffe, claiming he's disagreed with the president and would refuse to do anything illegal at his direction. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
The investigation into Jeffrey Epstein from the House Oversight Committee continues, with former White House counsel and Goldman Sachs attorney Catherine Rummiller testifying. Rummiller speaking about her former professional relationship with the convicted sex offender, who she describes as a, quote, masterful liar who used the wealthy and powerful people around him to cover his crimes behind the scenes. But for some Republican lawmakers, including Chairman James Comer, they're also interested in diving deeper into the communications between Rummiller and Epstein.
What's most concerning to me in looking at the communication between Rummiller and Epstein is how she tried and worked as hard as anyone, but I would say more than anyone, in trying to rehabilitate his image.
Rummiller telling lawmakers she saw no evidence of Epstein's ongoing criminal conduct while dealing with him.
Wisconsin is staking its claim in the race to develop fusion energy, with a major investment coming to Madison. Rialta Fusion is building its new headquarters and research facility at the former Oscar Mayer site. CEO Kiernan Furlong says the move will create more than 600 jobs.
We want to hear the world saying, fusion happens in Wisconsin. What Detroit was to the global automobile industry in the 1950s, what Houston is today to the global oil and gas industry, I can see Wisconsin being that for the fusion industry of the 21st century.
Governor Evers says the project strengthens Wisconsin's position as a national leader in fusion energy research and advanced manufacturing.
News about your money now, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Despite an early day sell-off in chip stocks leading to some downturns for the big three on Wall Street, they've since turned things around. The Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 all up between 0.3% to 0.5% on the day. Financial planning at every level: Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. More details at annexwealth.com.
Pitching help on the way to the Crew. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Many of us struggle to lose weight. I use Milwaukee Weight Loss to lose the weight I've wanted to lose for a long time. And the great thing is I've kept it off now for over a year. Lost 45 pounds last year, another almost 10 pounds this year with a goal of losing maybe 10 more. For a limited time, get $200 off of their summer special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. I can do it. You can do it. We can all do it. Let's lose weight together. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
It's Christmas in July at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. Get sale discounts store-wide all month long. What a great time to shop for all of your Christmas needs. Get your holiday decor and so much more, along with all the great bargains we always have for you. It's Christmas in July at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Brewers are reportedly finalizing a trade with the Houston Astros that would send pitchers Lance McCullers and Colton Gordon to Milwaukee. McCullers finished 7th in Cy Young Award voting in 2021, but he hasn't pitched since May 13th due to a shoulder injury. Gordon is a 27-year-old left-handed pitcher who ranked previously as high as number 10 on the Astros' top prospects list. Meanwhile, the Brewers take on the Marlins Friday as the regular season resumes following the All-Star break. Jacob Mizorowski could pitch somewhere in that series. He'll be ready to go whenever he's called upon.
We go back home and, get some treatment from our trainers and work out, get ready for whatever game they decide I'm going to throw. First game, second game, third game, fourth game, fifth game, somewhere there. I don't know.
And the World Cup resumes this afternoon with Argentina taking on England. The winner will face Spain in Saturday's World Cup final.
To the roads now, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Light delays continue on 4145 right around Appleton Avenue. However, typically we do see these delays extend all the way south to Capitol Drive, but as of right now, if I'm looking at the cameras, it's actually a pretty decent ride. We will have those delays still, but they're not quite as heavy as we would usually see at this hour in that area. Neither too are the delays super heavy right around the stadium. You will be on the brakes east or west between Mitchell Boulevard and 35th Street. Again, not quite as heavy as we usually see. We do still have these slowdowns, though, on 94 heading west for this very brief strip between Calhoun and Elm Grove Road. But once you get past there, and actually once you get past Moreland, you really should be in the free and clear.
Hot and humid conditions continue today with a high of 94 degrees, heat index of 104. Air quality advisory is in effect until noon on Thursday. And right now, we're looking pretty good with that here in southeastern Wisconsin. That's expected to change a little later tonight. We cool off a little bit on Thursday with a high of 85, but the haziness continues. Slight chance of a pop-up storm. Sunny on Friday, warm and humid, a high of 90. 94 feels like 104 in Milwaukee at 109.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Adam Roberts.
What was it, 2 years ago we became all too familiar with the AQI, the Air Quality Index, right? Everybody's downloading the app, trying to figure out what 100 means, or 200, or 150. And I think there was a time where Milwaukee specifically had the worst air quality in the world.
I remember it vividly because as a non-vehicle commuter, that week, I think it may have been even longer than that, but I was wearing an actual mask just to be outside, and I was far from the only person.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty. I recall some very vibrant sunsets along with that, kind of more of a pinkish than an orangish. It's very strange. But yeah, that could be the situation here already in the northern part of our state. The air quality is being severely affected. So it's coming this way and could arrive later this evening.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things. on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Well, number one, Waukesha County Board Chair and Acting County Executive Jim Heinrich announcing today the nomination of Thomas Farley to serve as the interim Waukesha County Executive. Farley retired back in 2016. He had a 31-year career with Waukesha County. 25 of those years he served as Corporation Counsel, which was the county's lead attorney. And over the decades, he was an integral advisor during 3 of the county's most significant structural transitions. He will resume his working with the county as county executive following the passing of Paul Farrow a little over a week ago. Paul Farrow lost a battle with cancer. He had been battling and working through as county executive. Everybody misses Paul Farrow. He's one of the good guys, no doubt about that. But Farley does have experience, understands how Waukesha works, and he is the guy, at least for now, in the interim to backfill the vacancy.
Number 2, President Donald Trump indicating he wants Immigration and Customs Enforcement to resume their traffic stops. This after 2 deadly shootings within a week, and the president seeming to contradict this new policy to halt those stops. Posting on Truth Social this morning, he calls the stops one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools. Meanwhile, the national fallout continues after one of those deadly incidents earlier this week in Maine. That's where ABC's Victor Oquendo is.
Outrage grows over a deadly shooting in Biddeford, Maine, where 25-year-old Johann Sebastian Guerrero was shot and killed, even though he was not the intended target of immigration officers. According to representation for the family, Guerrero had a social security number, as well as work authorization in the United States. DHS says Guerrero entered the country illegally in September 2023, but obtained a work permit in 2025.
So you have that incident, and then separate from the situation in Maine, within the last week, you have an ICE agent shooting and killing a Mexican motorist in the Houston, Texas area. Then just yesterday, a 3rd man dying during an encounter with immigration agents, not directly from the agents. However, he was hit by a tractor trailer while fleeing the officers. At least 10 people have been killed during operations by ICE since the start of the Trump administration's mass deportation campaign to begin his 2nd term.
And number 3, the family of Mississippi teen Nolan Wells preparing to meet with the local district attorney today. Law enforcement continues their work investigating the circumstances behind the teen's death on July 4th. ABC's Aaron Katursky is in Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Autopsy results are pending. The sheriff is still seeking access to Wells's phone, which the family retrieved from someone who was with him on Horn Island. And sources told ABC News investigators have so far talked to no eyewitness who saw or heard Wells in distress.
Wells traveled by boat with 3 high school friends to Horn Island. It's a remote barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. His friends returned to the mainland without him. A friend later stated that the group had been drinking and that Wells chose to stay behind. Now, the family is a little skeptical. They're trying to figure out why Wells would willingly stay on a remote island and do so without his phone. They also reported that his Snapchat history for that day appeared to be entirely blank or deleted. It's 1:14 on WTMJ.
Start the second half of the Brewers season with a stacked series against the Marlins. The whole city's invited to celebrate Noche de Cerveceros Friday, July 17th. Then get the latest Brandon Woodruff Brewers bobblehead, courtesy of PNC Bank, Saturday the 18th. Treat the family to a summer Sunday at the ballpark for Paw Patrol Day on the 19th. Plus, family vibes are through the roof with special kids activities every Sunday. Get your tickets at brewers.com.
Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's. They got a slice for every appetite. We had a Palermo's last night, as a matter of fact. It seems like not a week goes by where we're not enjoying a Connie's or an Urban Pie. Primo Thin, we had a Screamin' Sicilian last night. That is my personal favorite. Screamin' Sicilian, they've got a tavern style, which is a little more thin and crispy of a crust, still overflowing with toppings. Or the original, which is amazing, overflowing with toppings, and you got whole milk mozzarella, just wonderful stuff made by Palermo's. Check them out. Only one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza in the state of Wisconsin, and it is Palermo's. Made proudly in the state for 60 years. Why not celebrate local, support local, and eat great all in one swoop? It's Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
When it's time to explore assisted living, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. That's why we partnered with the American Seniors Housing Association to promote whereyouLiveMatters.org. I'm Mike from the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association. For over 30 years, our organization of more than 2,000 facility members has led through advocacy, education, and support to help advance quality care. That's why Wisconsin families trust WALA. When it's time to search for assisted living for yourself or a loved one, visit whereyouLiveMatters.org.
Visit the city where festivals take over the lakefront, breweries pour late into the night, and every neighborhood brings its own flavor. Milwaukee doesn't just host festivals,
It owns them.
with more than 100 every year, including the world's largest music festival. The lakefront views,
Incredible food and breweries,
live sports,
and nightlife that doesn't quit.
make Milwaukee a city built for unforgettable weekends. Expert guides at visitmilwaukee.org will help you plan every detail of your next visit. Get started today
At visitmilwaukee.org.
Heat advisory in effect till 8 o'clock tonight, and then you've got the air quality advisory as well until noon on Thursday. Smokiness starts to factor into the equation later this evening with a high of 94, heat index of 104, overnight low 75. Tomorrow's high 85 degrees. Maybe some of that wildfire smoke going to tamp down the temps a little bit. It'll still be on the warm side and muggy with a chance of a pop-up storm. 94 in Milwaukee at 117. Well, surgeons at UC San Diego achieved a world first by successfully using teleoperated humanoid robots to remove gallbladders in 2 preclinical trials, successfully placing the scalpel in the metal hands of a surgeon's robotic stunt double. ABC's Jim Ryan, gallbladder intact, is here to tell us more about Surgery. Jim, what is this all about?
Surgery, yeah. Maybe you've seen these robots that can do backflips. You see TikTok videos of them juggling and doing all sorts of things. Well, somebody thought, why didn't we train one of these things to do a surgery? And so that's what they've been doing at a California college. And sure enough, it appears to have worked. Now, a couple of really important caveats here, though, Greg. The robotic surgeon, this is a humanoid robot, was being controlled remotely by an actual surgeon who was able to see what the robot sees, was able to manipulate the hands and do the surgery. The other caveat, the patients here were pigs. So gallbladder surgery performed on 2 pigs by a humanoid robot being remotely operated by an actual human surgeon. Greg?
Do you think this is maybe, Jim, the start of finally developing humanoid robots for practical purposes? You mentioned these ones that we see from like Boston University that are doing karate chop action or are able to do a Michael Jackson moonwalk or something. But this is actually practical purpose here.
Right, yeah. Maybe it's not as fun to watch as the juggling robot or the skateboarding robot, but this could be important work, and I think that's the direction that it's going. The more immediate application, instead of replacing a surgeon, may be to replace the operating room nurse. So the surgeon says scalpel, and the humanoid robot grabs a scalpel, sponge, the robot grabs a sponge, hands it over, and then maybe cleans up the operating room afterward. But at some point in the future, these robots might not be operated remotely by a surgeon, but will be running autonomously. So in the same way, Adam, that you might trust Waymo to get you to your location without a driver in the car, someday you might have to trust that your robot surgeon knows what it is doing when it operates on you.
Important caveat, might have to, maybe not really am trusting.
Very good point. So I've seen robotic surgery systems before, Jim. I've heard of the Da Vinci system, right? This is kind of big. It's sort of cumbersome. It is presumably accurate. It's also incredibly expensive. Where does surgery fall onto that spectrum?
Well, yeah, and you're right. We've had robotic surgeries around, laparoscopic surgeries done by big robots for a long time. And you're right, they take up half the surgical suite. They're expensive, they're cumbersome, they're not terribly reliable. Sergi is 5 feet tall, about 60 pounds, and can walk right into the surgery room, into the operating room, and help out there. So, yeah, it's a matter of scaling down the technology and enhancing it so that it has some level of autonomy.
Something else I thought about, Jim, as I was watching the video of Surgery in action was the potential for maybe, if we're looking short-term versus long-term, a lot of hospitals, especially in third world countries and maybe far out rural areas, they're running on maybe a doctor or two at a time. Could this be potentially a workaround for some of those hospitals that have these chronic staffing shortages?
Absolutely, yeah. That may be the most promising part of this whole thing. That in an area that is remote, doesn't have good medical care anyway, much less a hospital with a surgical suite, this humanoid robot could be deployed to that kind of an area to sort of fill the gap. And so, yeah, that may be where this goes, that this could be a backstop to a healthcare system that is stretched almost to its limit.
My parents once told me as I was becoming a young adult, if I could take care of a plant, I'd be ready for a pet. And if I could successfully take care of the pet, I'd be ready for a child. Very simple terms, but I'm wondering if there's another step before this goes from pig to human.
Sure, right. And fine-tuning the thing, too. They had to recalibrate it several times during the pig gallbladder surgery, to make sure everything was right. And, I mean, it would kind of break down a little bit glitchy, but once those things are worked out, they'll move from pig into a primate, potentially, a monkey, an ape. They'll move from that then eventually to human trials. I mean, it's still several years down the road, but that's the path that we're on now, Greg.
Hopefully the humans aren't billed for the time that the robot glitches out. Something else interesting, Jim. As I was watching these scientists at UC San Diego talk about this, there was a lot of optimism in their voice, a lot of promise of the future. I couldn't help but also, though, notice maybe a slight twinge of trepidation that we may be training robots to, as the classic saying always is, do the jobs that many humans are currently doing.
Well, right. But when you talk about saving lives in a profession that really needs more physicians, right? And it's, again, kind of stretched to its limit. This may be one way to kind of quell that just a bit, to provide healthcare to people who wouldn't have healthcare otherwise. So, I mean, I think you're right there. Does a humanoid robot in the operating room have the same Hippocratic oath, do no harm? Let's hope so.
It's really interesting. I do also wonder if, this is being controlled from a remote location, how fast could a human surgeon step in to take over physically if the robot fails? That's got to be another key to this whole thing.
Well, right, yeah, and it's little baby steps at a time. Waymo cars always had a driver at the controls just in case something went wrong in the beginning. Eventually, the technology got pretty good, and we still have some glitches and problems with that system. But at some point, the robotic humanoid robot surgeon will probably be running on its own.
And now we know more about surgery. Thanks to ABC's Jim Ryan. We always appreciate it, Jim. Thank you.
All right, see you, Greg.
So are you going to trust this thing? Yes,
no.
Mr. Roberts, we know you need your appendix removed, and here's our idea for you. We'll need you to sign this waiver.
No. I think I made it pretty clear to Jim. I am absolutely not on board with this right now. And that note about the Waymo is also important too. Yeah, they're basically running fine, except for when they go in a circle and never stop or run through where there are crowds of people. Not great.
Yeah, you're going to want to make sure you charge it. You're going to want to charge it ahead of time, right? You get that thing loaded up the night before. You want a full surgery when you're doing your operating. I would like to think that it has a steady hand. Maybe steadier than a surgeon at times, but...
Well, some of the videos I was seeing of these scientists with Sergi, they're having to use their own hands to guide the hand of the robot while it's holding onto that very sharp little scalpel. So if I haven't made it plainly clear, no, I do not want a robot operating on my gallbladder anytime soon.
It's cute. It's pretty cute. I think it's cute.
It is cute.
It's 1:24 here on WTMJ. Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is built by Siding Unlimited. If you like podcasts, well, subscribe to our podcast. We'd love to have you subscribe and be part of our show. Hop into our studios here on YouTube. That's right. Check out Wisconsin's Midday News on YouTube. You can comment along with the show. You can see clips from previous shows. It's all right there for you. Wisconsin's Midday News on YouTube. Coming up at 2:15, I'm going to check in with WISN Political Director Matt Smith. So WISN is scheduled to host a debate here, the Democratic side of the gubernatorial race. That'll be on July 28th. It is coming up. Do we expect Sarah Rodriguez to be there? And how might Matt's line of questioning been altered as he's preparing for that? We'll also try and break down what we understand of campaign finances, because it seems like everybody's coming to the forefront to say, we've got a healthy situation, and here's what it looks like after the fallout of Sarah Rodriguez's campaign.
Deadline 11:59 p.m. tonight to get those reports in.
It is 1:25.
Hey, John Mercure here from WTMJ. When it's time for a new vehicle, I know exactly where I'm headed. It's the place I bought my last car, and I love it. It's Griffin Ford in Waukesha. We buy our vehicles there. Right now is a great time to make your move because Griffin has one of the largest selections of new Ford vehicles in Wisconsin. That means you choose the color, trim, features you want. They're right there on the lot. They don't have to bring the car in from far away. You don't have to wait. Looking for an SUV? Griffin Ford has 47 new Ford Explorers to choose from. Savings over $8,400 on select 2026 Explorer active models. Need a truck? They've got more than 60 of those beautiful Ford F-Series pickups, including the popular F-150. Plus, qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 36 months on most new Ford models. And you'll receive a 2-year, 25,000-mile maintenance package included with most new vehicles. Shop at Griffin Ford in Waukesha, where I buy my cars. It's Griffin Ford.
You know how fast summer flies by in Wisconsin, and before you know it, you'll be pulling into a dark driveway every evening. While you're soaking up what's left of summer, make plans to not be left in the dark when that day comes. Now is the perfect time to transform your home with professionally designed outdoor lighting from Blingle. Whether you're looking for elegant landscape lighting to showcase your home's beauty, improve safety, and extend your outdoor living space, or you'd like permanent roofline lighting that gives you stunning, app-controlled lighting for every season, Blingle has you covered. Their custom lighting systems are energy efficient, professionally installed, and designed to make your home stand out every night of the year. Don't wait until the sun starts setting much earlier. Schedule your free consultation today and see what your home looks like when it's truly Blingled. Visit blingle.com/MKE. That's blingle.com/MKE.
Get Blingled. Get Blingled.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
Every child deserves someone who won't give up on them. That's what Lacausa's Treatment Foster Care Program provides.
She just made me feel like I could breathe. At the end of the phone call, she said, "I love you." And I'm like, you don't even know me, but I felt like she did love me. It just let me know everything's gonna be okay. Like everything is gonna be okay.
One caring adult can change a child's life. Learn how you can become a foster parent with Lacausa at lacausa.org. Summer is the time to enjoy the outside. Enjoy the deck, the patio, the fire pit, the shade, the screen room, the in-ground pool. Enjoy all of it in your own backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck with a custom screen room and automated pergola. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life. At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work. Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. Search AXIS Legal today.
From those with no experience to firearms enthusiasts, all are welcome at Mission 94 Firearms Education Center. The staff is deeply committed to providing a welcoming and engaging environment for everyone at every level. Learn the right way to handle firearms, level up your skills, and experience replica firearms from different historical eras while learning about their role in protecting our freedoms throughout history. Visit veteran-owned and managed Mission 94 in Kenosha today. Check out the 5-star reviews. Just Google Mission 94.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Wednesday, July 15th. Your top story, the clock is ticking to submit campaign finance reports.
I'm Adam Roberts. A not guilty plea to killing her boyfriend over dinner.
A little spicy out there today. A heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock for all of southeastern Wisconsin. It's 94 right now. The feels-like temperature is 104. Air quality advisory also in effect until noon on Thursday. Thursday's high 85, smoky, warm, and humid. Flight chance.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Confirmation hearings taking place for Erica Schwartz, a former Deputy Surgeon General nominated to become the next CDC director. She faced questions about her views on autism and flu vaccines for children. GOP Senator Bill Cassidy, who's also a doctor, asked Schwartz if she would act independently and follow the science.
Will you have the ability and the firmness to stand up to that political meddling, to say, no, that's wrong and this is right?
Chairman, you have my assurances that I will continue to lead by my integrity. I will never compromise on the science. I will always have the public's health in mind.
The U.S. military launching daytime strikes against Iranian targets as control over the Strait of Hormuz escalates. Iran also targeting U.S. assets in the region. World Cup fever continuing. Atlanta hosting the semifinal round this afternoon between England and Argentina. The winner plays Spain in the final match on Sunday. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News time is 1:31.
Decision Wisconsin, the latest campaign finance reports due to the Wisconsin Ethics Commission.
J.R. Ross with WisPolitics says they could be especially significant for Democratic gubernatorial candidate Sarah Rodriguez, whose campaign is working to correct financial reporting errors.
All this stuff about her campaign manager and like double counting contributions, that's inside baseball. The real problem for her is communicating to voters, like getting her message out in the final weeks.
But the bigger question for Democrats, who can beat Republican frontrunner Tom Tiffany?
Whoever it is, this should be a great year for Democrats because of Donald Trump. But Democrats in Wisconsin right now are in a really precarious situation because of the mess of primaries.
Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
A woman enters a not guilty plea after allegedly killing her boyfriend over his choice of dinner.
27-year-old Michaela Cloth has been charged with first-degree intentional homicide after prosecutors say she stabbed her boyfriend, 25-year-old Lucas Raj, in their Lac La Belle apartment back in April. According to a criminal complaint, Cloth was upset that Raj had brought chicken over for dinner when she wanted to eat out. Her bond was set for $2 million. She's due back in court on September 14th. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
New investments are coming to Milwaukee's north side after the Common Council approved amendments to 2 tax incremental districts. The projects include a new playground at West Basin near 35th and Marion, along with flood mitigation improvements, street resurfacing, pedestrian safety upgrades, and more. City leaders also approved funding for raised crosswalks along North Teutonia Avenue in the 1st Aldermanic District.
Milwaukee's Harbor District getting a new front porch. The District Riverwalk transforming a once industrial stretch of the Kinnickinnick River into a new public gathering space. New water safety equipment also comes with this expansion. Here's Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky.
We've installed water-safe MKE life rings. This will be expanding as this project grows. I cannot emphasize how important bystander rescue is when people fall into the water. My grandfather used to bring me down and around here to show me around, and this was all desolate and overgrown. You just look around now, it's bustling. There's noise in the air, there's things happening.
Additional construction on amenities is expected to continue in future phases.
And coming off the hottest day of the year, more heat and humidity today across southeastern Wisconsin and some poor air quality. A thick plume of wildfire smoke will drift into the state this afternoon and evening due to ongoing wildfires in northern Minnesota and Canada.
While by Thursday and Friday and Saturday, the temperature will be down some, it's still going to be hot. We're still going to have generally this same warm air mass in place. So we're not going to be having any notable weather systems to come through and cause that smoke to get in and out of here quickly.
WTMJ meteorologist Craig Copleen. Lauren Larson from TMJ4 joins us coming up in just a few minutes.
A new arm set to arrive in the Brewers rotation. Sports traffic and weather next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News time is 1:34.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. Joint pain is awful. We all know that, right? And I'm betting you aren't the only one affected by it. Maybe you have a loved one who struggles with a bad knee or a back and doesn't even know what to do about it. Instead, they cancel plans and they sit things out. Well, QC Kinetics can help bring that life back. Patients at QC Kinetics who were stuck in that cycle of pain in their hips, their knees, shoulders, maybe their back, they're finally stepping out of it with regenerative treatments that are done right there in the office in Mequon or in Greenfield. No surgery, no long recovery or putting life on hold, just real relief. Here's what you do. You call QC Kinetics, get yourself a free consultation, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Call and get your life back. Call QC Kinetics today.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor, and all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. The Brewers get back to work on Friday against the Marlins. The team has not announced its starting pitchers for that three-game series. Jacob Mizorowski says he will be ready to go when called upon.
We can go back home and, get some treatment from our trainers and work out, get ready for whatever game they decide I'm going to throw. First game, second game, third game, fourth game, fifth game, somewhere in there. I don't know.
Mizorowski was scratched from his most recent start due to arm fatigue. Brewers reportedly finalizing a trade at the Houston Astros that would send pitcher Lance McCullers to Milwaukee. McCullers finished 7th in Cy Young Award voting in 2021. He's not pitched, however, this season since May 13th. And the World Cup resumes this afternoon with Argentina taking on England. That match set to begin in about 25 minutes. The winner will face Spain in Saturday's World Cup final.
To the roads now, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Heads up, we got a situation right now on 94 South. This is in Kenosha County, just north of Sturtevant, right by Highway 20. If you are heading south right now, we've got 3 lanes of the 4 blocked due to a crash. This is on the ramp right near the highway. We've got some delays, pretty heavy with this. It's pretty much a parking lot all the way up towards near 4 Mile Road as you're heading south towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. So keep that in mind if you are heading out to the south of Milwaukee right now, right around Highway 20 on 94. It is very, very slow as everything's trying to be shuttled through just this one left lane. The 3 right lanes are going to be blocked with this crash. Elsewhere, we've got minor delays on 4145 from Appleton Avenue south towards Capitol Drive and right around the stadium on 94 east and west between 27th and Mitchell Boulevard.
All right, a couple of different advisories in effect here. Let's start with the heat as we bring in Lauren Larson, TMJ Ford meteorologist. Hi, Lauren.
Yeah, hey, lots to talk about in weather. Obviously, that heat is a big one, but we are also keeping an eye on the air quality across really the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, so I'm curious to know how these work sort of against one another, because I did notice that the temperature seems to drop off a little bit tomorrow, and I'm wondering if wildfire smoke start to work its way in, does it tamp temperatures down a little bit?
Yeah, it seems to kind of work that way. It's a little bit harder for the sun to really penetrate that thick layer of smoke, whether that smoke is a thick layer in the upper levels or impacting us here on the surface. There is some correlation with that, but we also were talking about kind of that heat dome that's been over us. As that heat dome starts to break down a little bit, the area of high pressure, it's easier for the wildfire smoke to push in.
So right now, Lauren, the maps that we've been following, Greg and I, of the air quality, it's really centered right around the northern part of our state. You've got a lot of the upper peninsula of Michigan that's caked in this smoke right now. And I know that we're kind of timing it out for things to arrive here late tonight into tomorrow morning. Is there a chance, though, that much of the heavier stuff kind of sticks around northern Wisconsin and has a little bit of a harder time proliferating down to our area? Or is anything on the table?
Yeah, I do think that northeast Wisconsin and actually northwest Wisconsin is probably going to be the very worst. But as we kind of see the winds switch and again that heat dome kind of break up a little bit, the lake breeze is going to help that smoke make its way to the surface really along the lake shore here later tonight and into tomorrow. So we won't be the worst across the state, but I won't say that we're kind of in the clear because the northern part takes all of it from us.
So when does it start to become noticeable? I'm just looking at the AQI right now. This is something I haven't done in a couple years, but here we are. And we're still below 50, which would indicate reasonably comfortable air quality, although it's incredibly hot out. But when do you think we start noticing it here?
Well, there's kind of two parts to this. The first part is when does that smoke kind of push into southeast Wisconsin and over southeast Wisconsin. The other part of it is that mixing down to the surface and actually impacting our air quality here. In that level, you're able to kind of smell the smoke. I think we'll start to notice the smoke in the upper levels by dinner time. Sunset tonight is what I'm seeing on the models. So it should be a gorgeous sunset as we deal with that smoke aloft. And then I think we probably won't be able to smell the smoke on the surface until early tomorrow morning.
So a good reminder, too, I was telling Greg earlier about the last time we had this really just nasty stuff 3 years ago. As a non-vehicle commuter, I was wearing a mask over my face while biking to and from work for basically a week. Good reminders, Lauren, for anyone who's going to be outdoors. Obviously, you have the typical warnings we'd have for heat, but what are some things we should keep in mind when the smoke's going to be as bad as it's going to be?
Yeah, we have been talking about the heat and limiting your time outside, taking frequent breaks, maybe not exerting yourself as much instead of going for a run, maybe go for a walk in the evenings. So that's kind of the one thing. But you're talking about being a bike commuter. I think the mask is definitely a good recommendation for that. I will say the smoke that we have right now won't be as bad and won't last as long as it did a few years ago.
Well, that is good to know. And there's also potential for rain on Thursday. How big of a chance, and what are we looking at here from Thursday and throughout the weekend?
Yeah, both Thursday and Friday, those chances are pretty scattered. So there isn't going to be a complete washout really throughout any of our counties, and certainly not the entire area. We're not expecting severe weather with it, but maybe some general thunderstorms, maybe a couple flashes of lightning, a rumble of thunder. I think the chance is better Thursday night, and then it does look to be more of a Friday afternoon into the evening kind of thing. We'll talk more about those rain chances into the weekend once we get a little bit closer.
Any reason to believe that this heat advisory or even the air quality alert could be extended beyond its current window?
Yeah, great question. I have been keeping an eye on that just because those dew points are high right now. Our feels like temperatures are warmer than they were this time yesterday. A little bit frustrating after we had been preaching that yesterday was going to be the hottest day of the week. Temperature-wise, absolutely. I don't think we'll make it to the upper 90s again. So I've been keeping a close eye on the National Weather Service chat, seeing if they are thinking of extending that heat advisory. As of right now, it is set to expire at 8. Your temperatures overnight in the mid-70s. I think tomorrow, with our highs only in the mid-80s, we will see that heat advisory expire. That's what I'm thinking right now. Your air quality alert, that is a little bit harder to forecast as we go farther out. We'll have to see kind of how that smoke makes its way through, and then if we can see that clearing out into Friday. Right now, that's set to expire noon on Thursday.
All right, good stuff. TMJ4 meteorologist Lauren Larson. We appreciate it, Lauren. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It is 1:44 on WTMJ. Right now, the heat advisory is scheduled to expire at 8 o'clock tonight. That air quality alert scheduled to expire at noon tomorrow, but very possible that could be extended.
John Mercure here for Connect Chiropractic. Life today can keep us stuck in stress mode. Headaches, poor sleep, constant tension, feeling worn down. At Connect Chiropractic, the focus isn't just masking symptoms, it's finding the root cause, helping your nervous system function the way it was designed so your body can heal, adapt, and perform at its best. If you deal with headaches, sleep struggles, or neck and back pain from long days at a desk, take a closer look. Start with a first visit at Connect Chiropractic. It includes advanced scans, digital x-rays, helping uncover what's really going on. Connect Chiropractic.
Well, by now you probably have heard me talk about it. Our master closet was a complete disaster. Did not like it. It was like the only place in our house that was truly cluttered, and it was a source of stress for me. Well, the folks at Inspired Closets Milwaukee came out, they listened to what my wife and I had to say, and they devised a plan, took some measurements, and a couple of days later, we had a beautiful rendering of what our master closet could look like. It looked so great. We went up to their showroom. We put on the virtual reality glasses and goggles and got to tour the space. That was a really cool thing. My kids loved it as well. That was a really cool process. And then a few weeks later, Inspired Closets Milwaukee installed our brand new master closet. It is spectacular. They have removed the clutter. In fact, we can't even mess it up. That was not the issue before. We messed it up all too often. In fact, it never got clean, our closet. That's not the case. It's Inspired Closets to the rescue for you, like it was for us. A master closet, that was what we needed. You might need a little help with your pantry or your laundry room. That mudroom, seeing a lot of activity now that the kids are home from school. Also, ask what they can do in your garage. Really, any space that could use an organizational touch. Katie and Dan can help you like they've helped so many here in southeastern Wisconsin, and they are just wonderful people to work with. You're going to love it with InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the July Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save now during the Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill is hiring experienced line cooks and dishwashers. You'll make real money. Night and weekend hours are required. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today, start next week. Google and call the Fox and Hounds today.
148 on WTMJ. It's often been said that the definition of insanity, Greg, is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result.
Oh, sure.
So what we are seeing right now with the Milwaukee County Transit System, this news that's coming down today, is kind of making me thinking of that expression. More on that in just a moment. First, the news that is coming down just a few hours ago. The MCTS system planning a 25% cut in service beginning in 2027. That's a pretty big gap that they are trying to fill in terms of dollars and cents, this multi-million-dollar deficit that's been forecasted to begin starting next year, which we reported on previously. Now, when it comes to that cut, what does that mean? Does that mean fewer routes? Does that mean buses are not going to be coming as frequently? Is it a little bit of A and B? Well, we're not exactly sure what that looks like yet, but what is clear is that the dollars and cents situation is bad, has been bad, and is not going to be getting better anytime soon. President and CEO of the system, Steve Fuentes, speaking to supervisors earlier today.
Every time something good goes away at MCTS, it's because we couldn't afford it any longer. And that is all of our problem that we need to solve collectively.
So Fuentes says they'll be pursuing this new idea of dedicated funding, trying to find some sort of a solution to avoid these deeper cuts.
In the comptroller's report, they estimate in the year 2031, we're looking at over a $37 million budget deficit. That's the future we're staring at. And so what we're trying to do is take a proactive approach to that future that we know is waiting for us down the road in a couple of years.
So this is all coming, Greg, as MCTS is exploring this idea of completely redesigning the bus network. Just throw the old model out the window. There's a consulting firm that's going to come in here in a couple of months and basically build this thing right from scratch. And one of the things that's come up from people I have talked to about this redesign is this just going to be, we don't have any money, so we're only going to serve the immediate area right around downtown and some of the outlying areas in the city, and all the suburbs, well, they're out of luck. They're just not going to get any bus service.
Well, there was COVID funding that expired, right? I mean, that was exhausted. So MCTS since has had to rely on these short-term fixes, including ARPA dollars and county property taxes and things just to sort of keep it floating. But fare evasion has also jumped to the forefront of the discussion when it was revealed that 33% of riders were not paying for their fare. So therein lies one of the major issues. You rely on those dollars, really any sense of revenue, to try and make your balance sheet match instead of this incredible deficit, which could be going into more efficient buses, a better network, more dedicated lanes, right? Just a better operational system. But they've exhausted those COVID funds, and the revenues aren't coming in, and people are riding without paying. So you've got a collection of issues here.
Well, I'll just say, as someone who is a regular rider of the bus system, to my first point when I came in here, these constant changes and routes getting shorter, constantly getting shorter, cut. Always what we hear from top brass is we're doing what we can to keep as much service as possible, to keep opportunities available for people who don't have a car, who would just like to take a bus from point A to point B to do so. What I'm telling you is, as someone who rides all the time, it's kind of like a restaurant who's always changing their hours. Maybe they started out, 9 to 5 with service, and then only they're doing lunch on a couple of days. And now we're going to do it here, but we're not going to do it these days. If I can't rely on something to be consistently available, I'm not going to use it even if I have the opportunity to do so. I'm going to find some other way. It's going to be annoying, but I'm going to do so. And perfect example of this. So recently, I was trying to get from where I live in the city of Milwaukee out to the county line. Had an event I was going to in the Brookfield area. Don't have a vehicle available to me, but that's all right. You can take a bus all the way to there, right? Well, not quite. It only now goes this route I was originally going to use and did go all the way to Waukesha County. Well, now it only goes about a mile shy of that, and you're going to have to find a way to get that last mile on your own. So that's what I did. And was it annoying? Yes. Would I want to do it again? Absolutely not. And as these cuts continue to happen, it's going to have that impact of, if people don't know they're going to be able to ride, they're not going to ride.
Well, you've had pretty significant investment, too, in these protected bus lanes, which really cause a bottleneck of traffic in the opposite lanes, but that's a different story for another time. Also, the bus stops, the shelters. You've seen a pretty dramatic improvement in some of those. So they've put money into the things that sort of accessorize bus transportation, but they have not found a way to dig out of this multi-million-dollar deficit just yet. I don't know. There's not one solution, right? There's a number of things that need to go right to turn this thing around, but it doesn't appear as if a quick fix is on the horizon.
Not at all.
It is 1:53 on WTMJ. Got a big 2 o'clock hour coming up here on the program, including a conversation with Matt Smith, political director at WISN 12. So today's kind of a big day for those in the gubernatorial race. We got to present their dollars, their balance sheet. Now, this comes just a couple of days after Sarah Rodriguez fired her campaign manager for a misappropriation of funds or just a general mismanagement of those funds. So this will be interesting. And already Tom Tiffany has said, hey, I got $10 million here. We're doing great. How about you guys, right? I mean, everybody is flexing their dollars now in the wake of this issue involving Sarah Rodriguez's campaign.
One thing I'm going to be curious to see, Greg, is we don't normally see, at least in my experience, this is typically a pretty boring day. It's just one of those boxes you check, like this is just something you do when you're running for governor. You submit the report, it's put in the Ethics Commission website, and that's basically it. I'm curious, in the wake of the Rodriguez situation, if all of these candidates are going to suddenly make this a thing, like any of the outliers, the Brennans, the Roys of the race are going to try and make some big presentation of, yes, I'm someone you can rely on for dollars and cents, and here's a line-by-line breakdown of exactly where all the money's coming from.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to see.
All the measures to go and show that balance sheet is accurate. There was no misguided funds moving out or double counting or anything that plagued the Rodriguez campaign. That's going to be a thing, more of a thing than I think you're right, that it likely usually is. It's 1:54 on WTMJ.
988 Wisconsin Lifeline. How can I help you?
Share hope, find purpose when you become a 988 Lifeline counselor. The 988 Wisconsin Lifeline provides free and confidential support to anyone in crisis. 988 has experienced tremendous growth, and more statewide counselors are needed. Staffed by Family Services, 988 counselors work remotely, are offered flexible hours, competitive compensation, benefits, and training. Apply today at 988lifelinecounselor.org. Family Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Paid for by grants from SAMHSA and the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Well, with the Brewers returning home this weekend, it's a great reminder that Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee can take you to the ballpark and bring you back. That's right. Don't worry about the hassle of parking or paying for that parking spot. Just stop off at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Grab something to eat. Maybe make a same-day sports wager. You'll get a wristband. You can hop aboard the Potawatomi shuttle that picks up at the Annex right next to the Sportsbook at Potawatomi, and it takes you right to American Family Field. Beginning in the 7th inning, that shuttle will bring you back to Potawatomi. Couldn't be easier. Front door service from Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. If you're not going to the game, why not just hang out? Watch the game at the Sportsbook. You'll see every game on TV. On that 2,000 square foot video wall, that Sportsbook is unbelievable. It's state of the art. And it's going on a couple of years old right now, but it still looks brand new. They've got 2 levels for your viewing entertainment. Do a little more private gathering on the VIP level if you'd like. Grab some food, grab something to drink, make a wager, and enjoy at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee.
Tell them you want hardwood, but make it affordable. Vince Vitrano here for Hunt's Flooring. A lot of people think hardwood flooring is out of their price range. We did. Then we visited Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. Right there on Highway 100, Hunt's has a large inventory of hardwood in stock at discounted pricing. We just got Phil to show us around, see what he had priced to move, and we locked in a great deal. We were able to do our entire first floor. These are in-store deals only, not something you find online. Stop in, take a look, tell them Vinny sent you to Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Traffic accident southbound 894 south of Beloit Road. Do have the right lane blocked.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
About 2 miles past Bryan Road, there is a car fire on the right shoulder.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
Debbie Lazaga, I want to thank you for the wonderful, wonderful job you do every day.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
When should you take Social Security? Hi, I'm Tony Drake, certified financial planner and founder of Drake & Associates right here in Wisconsin. For many retirees, Social Security is one of the most important income sources they'll have. But deciding when to claim your benefits isn't always simple. Claim early, and your monthly benefits may be permanently reduced. Wait too long, and you might miss years of income you could have received. The right strategy depends on several factors: your health, your spouse's benefits, your other retirement income, and how taxes could affect what you keep. At Drake & Associates, we help Wisconsin families coordinate Social Security with the rest of their retirement plan so it works alongside your investments, taxes, and income strategy. To help you get started, I'm offering my complimentary retirement toolkit. It includes my book, Get Retirement Ready, and 5 guides that explain how Social Security fits into a complete retirement plan. Call 414-897-9522 or text TAX to that number for your no-cost toolkit. That's 414-897-9522 or text the word TAX to 414-897-9522. Because when it comes to Social Security, the right timing can make a big difference.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
No matter what business you're in, as the #1 SBA lender in Wisconsin, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions.
Awarded the #1 SBA lender by the Small Business Administration of Wisconsin in 2025.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Wednesday, July 15th. Your top story, investigating whether the world's richest man violated Wisconsin election laws.
I'm Adam Roberts. More major Milwaukee County bus cuts on the table.
Warm, humid, sticky, and smoky. Today, high 94 degrees, heat index of 104. The wildfire smoke starts to infringe tonight on southeastern Wisconsin with a low of 72. Smoky, warm, and humid on Thursday. Slight chance of a pop-up storm at a high of 85. It's currently 93 in Milwaukee. At 2:01 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom. Decision Wisconsin. Election officials have found probable cause that billionaire Elon Musk violated the state's election bribery law during last year's Wisconsin Supreme Court race.
The Wisconsin Elections Commission voted to refer 2 complaints to the Brown County District Attorney's Office. The complaints stem from Musk's promise to award $1 million checks to voters during the 2025 election, where he spent millions supporting Republican-backed candidate Brad Schimmel, who ultimately lost to Judge Susan Crawford. Prosecutors can choose to bring criminal charges over violating the state law against election bribery. The district attorney's office has 40 days to report back to the commission. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
In Washington, President Trump's next pick to be the director of national intelligence earlier today repeatedly refusing to directly say that President Joe Biden won the 2020 election.
Multiple senators pressed Jay Clayton, a lawyer who currently serves as the U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, about the outcome of the 2020 election. Georgia Senator John Ossoff.
Who won the 2020 election?
I'm not going to do this with you.
Clayton argued the questions amounted to political theater, but the remarks add to Democrats' criticism of Clayton's inexperience in intelligence matters and purported allegiance to Donald Trump. Clayton is still expected to be confirmed to replace Trump's acting pick for the job, whose brief yet controversial tenure has derailed the passage of a key surveillance law. Peter Haralamus, ABC News.
A suburban Chicago man is headed to prison for threatening to kill multiple public officials, including the president. News Nation's Lauren Lepka.
58-year-old Trent Schneider was convicted earlier this year of making a true threat in interstate commerce to injure a person. He's been sentenced to 3 years and 2 months in federal prison. Court documents revealed Schneider posted an Instagram video of himself in October of last year, saying in part, quote, "People like me have suffered real crimes from judges, doctors, lawyers, police. They should all be killed." He also referenced President Trump specifically. That same day, he was in court on a foreclosure case and told the judge he'd burned the courthouse down.
The U.S. Secret Service said threats against public officials and political violence will be aggressively investigated and prosecuted.
Back here at home, Milwaukee County bus riders could soon see major service changes under a proposal aiming to close the transit system's existing budget gap. MCTS is considering a 25% cut in service starting next year, though officials have not yet decided whether that would mean fewer routes, less frequent buses, or a combination. MCTS President and CEO Steve Fuentes before supervisors earlier today.
Every time something good goes away at MCTS, it's because we couldn't afford it any longer. And that is all of our problem that we need to solve collectively.
Fuentes says the system is pursuing new dedicated funding to avoid deeper cuts in the future. MCTS plans to present a final recommendation to the county board early next year.
A new piece of Milwaukee's Riverwalk is now open. City leaders celebrating the grand opening of the first phase for the Harbor District Riverwalk today. Project creates new public access along the Kinnickinnick River with a walking path, seating areas, and green space for residents and visitors. Tia Torhost is the CEO of the Harbor District.
Soon we will be welcoming approximately 700 new units into the Harbor District. This space is an incredible resource for those residents to come down and have connections with the industrial past and present of our future.
Future phases of the project will add more public amenities.
News about your money now, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update in the final hour of trading on this Wednesday. All the majors doing not too bad today. The Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P 500 all up marginally on the afternoon with an hour to go in trading. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is coming up on 2:05.
You know how fast summer flies by in Wisconsin, and before you know it, you'll be pulling into a dark driveway every evening. While you're soaking up what's left of summer, make plans to not be left in the dark when that day comes. Now is the perfect time to transform your home with professionally designed outdoor lighting from Blingle. Whether you're looking for elegant landscape lighting to showcase your home's beauty, improve safety, and extend your outdoor living space, or you'd like permanent roofline lighting that gives you stunning, app-controlled lighting for every season, Blingle has you covered. Their custom lighting systems are energy efficient, professionally installed, and designed to make your home stand out every night of the year. Don't wait until the sun starts setting much earlier. Schedule your free consultation today and see what your home looks like when it's truly Blingled. Visit blingle.com/MKE. That's blingle.com/MKE.
Get Blingled. Get Blingled. Set sail on an unforgettable adventure with Royal Caribbean. During the Fox exclusive July sale, you can lock in the best dates and rates for your next cruise. Experience maximum thrills and chill at sea with world-class dining, jaw-dropping entertainment, and stunning destinations from the Caribbean to Alaska. Book now to enjoy stackable discounts and secure your cabin only at Fox World Travel. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Don't wait. The sale ends July 24th.
One great day of golf can change lives. Join me, Steve Scaffidi, and my co-host Kristen Bry on Monday, August 31st for the Salvation Army of Milwaukee County Swing for the Kettle Golf Invitational at Oakwood Park Golf Course in Franklin.
Your participation directly supports food, shelter, and life-changing programs for children and families throughout our community.
We'll be broadcasting live from the course, but the day is really about you getting golfers and sponsors together to make a difference.
Foursomes, individual golfers, and sponsors are all welcome. Reserve your spot today at samilwaukee.org. That's samilwaukee.org.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers are finalizing a trade with the Houston Astros to acquire right-handed pitcher Lance McCullers and left-handed pitcher Colton Gordon. McCullers was a Cy Young Award sixth-place finisher in 2021. He has not pitched this season since May 13th. He's had an assortment of injuries since 2021. Colton Gordon, meanwhile, is a left-hander, 27 years old. Brewers will take the field against the Marlins on Friday, game one of a three-game series. No pitchers have been announced for that series. When will Jacob Mizorowski next take the field?
We go back home and, get some treatment from our trainers and work out, get ready for whatever game they decide I'm going to throw. First game, second game, third game, fourth game, fifth game, somewhere in there. I don't know.
An injured list stint is not expected for Mizorowski, who was scratched from his most recent start due to arm fatigue. Bucks back on the floor tonight in Summer League play in Las Vegas, taking on the Charlotte Hornets. And on the pitch right now, just getting started, it's Argentina and England in the World Cup semifinal. Winner advances to Sunday's final to face Spain.
Off to the roads we go, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Want to get you an update on this earlier crash on 94 South that had 3 right lanes blocked in Kenosha County near Highway 20. Good news is the crash looks like things have been cleared up and we have all 4 lanes of traffic ready to go and get you towards the Illinois border. Bad news is we still have some delays that have to work themselves out. They begin just south of, looks like Northwestern Avenue, 4 Mile Road area, just west of Kenosha, or Racine rather, and then extend down towards the south from there. Elsewhere, we've got some situations on 4145 resulting in delays. The situation being there's construction. Southbound from Good Hope Road all the way down to Capitol Drive, you'll be on the brakes, and northbound from Highway 100 up towards Capitol. And then just a touch slow right around American Family Field as well. And some volume starting to build on 43 south from about the Marquette towards the high-rise bridge, and then south towards Oklahoma Avenue.
Heat advisory till 8 o'clock tonight. Air quality alert until noon tomorrow. Very possible that gets extended. 94 your high today. Heat index of 104. Once the smoke rolls in later tonight, it'll cool us down into the mid-70s. Tomorrow's high listed as 85. Very possible that smoke could just sort of keep temperatures a little bit cooler than we've experienced the last few days. Now that sun perhaps won't be quite as intense. However, you're dealing with wildfire smoke, so conditions certainly will not be favorable for outdoor activity. It's currently 93 in Milwaukee at 209.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Adam Roberts.
Another sort of strange start time here for Argentina and England. However, if you live in England, this might be the perfect start time for today's World Cup match. But this is taking place in Atlanta right now. So they're inside a football stadium, and they've put down grass. Normally that's turf where the Atlanta Falcons play, but that is not the case today. It'll be replaced before the football season.
Now, this is a fantastic matchup, too. You've got the Jude Bellingham, Lionel Messi, or potentially Harry Kane matchup you're looking forward to. I was just telling you earlier, I don't know who I want more to lose because it potentially sets up that weird third place game the World Cup does. France is awaiting the loser of this one, which I've never liked the idea of doing a consolation game for anything, but someone's got to win third, I guess. But yeah, the winner to take on Spain on Sunday in the final.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, how'd you like a little side of wildfire smoke with your heat dome?
Throughout Canada, there are more than 800 wildfires burning. All that smoke provoking air quality alerts from the Great Lakes to New York and New England. In Manchester, New Hampshire, a thick, haunting haze turning skies an eerie shade of orange.
The entire state of Wisconsin currently under the statewide air quality advisory thanks to that wildfire smoke that
is entering into Wisconsin late this afternoon and into the evening. It'll be warm, humid, and smoky tonight. The smoke continues for our Thursday. Warm and humid, slight chance of a pop-up afternoon storm. Highs in the mid-80s.
That's TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson. So you've got already in northern Wisconsin some deteriorating air quality. It's been like this for a number of hours. It's just not yet made its way down to southeastern Wisconsin, but it's expected to sometime this evening. Very possible that this advisory could be pushed. This air quality advisory could be extended a little bit. So to keep in mind, an air quality index of 100 or more is generally considered unhealthy for sensitive groups. I did download an app earlier today just to track this. I had one on my phone previously when we were tracking this a couple of summers ago. There was a point where Milwaukee was like the worst in the world. Yep. That's not an exaggeration. Mm-hmm. That was the case. We started the show, the air quality alert or air quality index in Milwaukee where we are was 41. So that is very safe, very comfortable, albeit it's hot and humid. Right now it's up to 87 and expected to get up into the hundreds here over the next couple of hours.
So a good reminder before you head to bed tonight, not that it's been a windows open night for a while for us, but if you did have a window open, you might want to shut that because the smoke will come in late and be around tomorrow as well. Number 2, wanted to get you this update to a story that made national headlines back in late 2024 regarding Ryan Borgward. If you don't remember the name, he's the kayaker who went missing while on Green Lake in east central Wisconsin. The man that we would later learn was attempting to fake his own death.
Good evening, it's Ryan Borgward. I'm in my apartment. I am safe, secure, no problem.
So Borgward there sending that video to authorities from Europe. He fled there to start a new life, leaving behind a wife and children, ultimately arriving in the nation of Georgia. He would return to the U.S. to face charges and ultimately was sentenced to just under 90 days in prison. Recall the proceedings also brought this memorable quote out from Green Lake County Sheriff Mark Podol.
He didn't expect us to go more than 2 weeks in searching for him. Well, I hate to tell you, he picked the wrong sheriff and the wrong department.
All right. Well, as part of Borgward's sentence, you may recall he was ordered to pay restitution. The DNR spent around 350 hours searching for Borgward, and that totaled around $30,000 in expenses. Well, today, we learned $9,000 of that $30K was used to purchase a device called a towfish sonar, which can comb the bottom of the water for missing items, hazards in lakes, as well as missing people. Recall that during that initial search for Borgward, there were challenges given just how deep Green Lake is. If you don't know at its deepest, it's 237 feet below the surface, easily the deepest lake in the state of Wisconsin. And so far, the DNR says this device that they've been able to purchase with some of this money already being put to good use on 4 missions, and they've used it to locate 2 missing people already. So already some great stuff happening and a good use of those dollars from this story from a couple of years ago.
2:14 on WTMJ. We check in with WISN Political Director Matt Smith on the situation regarding the can't run for governor here in the state of Wisconsin. They've got a debate coming up in a couple of weeks. Do they expect everybody to be there? We'll check in with Matt after this.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Rates are a little stuck, but what if you could save $2,000 or more on your mortgage payment in the next year while we're waiting for 30-year fixed rates to come back down? That's exactly what we just did for Amanda, who bought her home last summer with a traditional 30-year fixed from AccuNet at 6.99. With current rates now closer to 6.5, we reached out to her with two options: save $90 a month or just over $1,000 a year on her $226,000 loan with no loan costs, or save $2,200 in the first year while we wait for rates to come back down. She chose door number 2, which is what we're calling our Rate Buster Refi. It's a 30-year fixed rate loan with an effective rate of 5.88 for the first year and 6.88 for years 2 through 30. The APR is 6.89 with 25% equity and all the other right stuff. Hey, don't just sit there waiting. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and find out how much you can save with the traditional no loan cost refi or our new Rate Buster Refi. That's ACCUNET.com.
For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. Greg Matzik here. If you got a busted garage door, do not let it get you down. You can rely on the folks at Geist to get you back in the game with brands like CHI and LiftMaster in stock, ready to go, incredible inventory. All you got to do is connect with Geist. If you've got a custom project, Geist can help you with that as well. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, it's a simple phone call or visit to geistdoors.com, or you could stop by their showroom. It's located in Brookfield, right off Barker Road. You'll meet with the folks at Geist. You'll see the incredible inventory. You'll see the custom design center. You'll see all the ways Geist can help you if you're in a bit of a garage door jam. It's Geist. Don't think twice. Call Geist and visit geistdoors.com.
Want to watch all your favorite WTMJ shows? Check out the WTMJ YouTube channel. Live streams of all your favorite WTMJ shows, from Wisconsin's morning news to what's on tap. See breaking news as it happens. Get involved with the action in the chat on Brewers Extra Innings, or see all the cool tools on the Fix-It Show. Missed your favorite show? We've got past live streams and interview highlights too. Subscribe to 620 WTMJ.
Still hot outside. Heat advisory expires at 8 o'clock tonight. The air quality alert remains in effect till noon tomorrow, and possible it could be extended. Right now it's 94 degrees. Heat index of 104 in Milwaukee at 217. Well, it's only Wednesday, but it's been quite the week for Sarah Rodriguez and her campaign for governor. Rodriguez fired her campaign manager, Kara Spencer, earlier this week, citing financial irregularities. And there's some new details emerging regarding the former campaign manager for Sarah Rodriguez. Wanted to go through it with WISN Political Director Matt Smith, who joins us. Hey, Matt.
Hi, guys. Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, so what are we learning now about Kara Spencer?
So there's a number of new reports coming out, including a report we filed last night, myself along with Nick Board, just about questions and concerns about this campaign manager. Not only everything the campaign raised with the campaign itself and the campaign finance reports, but some personal concerns, some eviction notices and eviction concerns last year here in Dane County, thousands of dollars in unpaid rent, personal finances that are now kind of seeping into this larger story about the campaign's finance and how the campaign will or is attempting to move forward in these next 3.5 weeks.
So the lieutenant governor, Matt, has said she has no plans to drop out. But I've been wondering, with her campaign manager, Kara Spencer, gone, do we know who is currently running the campaign? Is she taking it on herself? Is someone else slotting into that role?
No, we haven't heard like specific names. Adam, to your point, obviously she has a larger team than just her campaign manager who was there last week. So clearly it is an all hands on deck from a communication standpoint. Most notably to a finance standpoint, right? Because the deadline is midnight tonight for this latest campaign finance report. And the question has been, how much work is this campaign having to do now to fix any potential errors in this new report? and make sure this newest, most recent filing is accurate. There are now just hours before the midnight deadline. So we're going to have to see how the Rodriguez campaign responds to that and what their filing looks like if it is filed on time ahead of the midnight deadline.
I'm curious your opinion, Matt. In your experience, how much a correlation is there between finances and funding and your ability to rise to the top of a situation like this where you've got several who are running for the Democratic nominee?
Yeah. Well, money does a lot. Money is powerful in politics. And when you go to a week ago and Sarah Rodriguez says she thought she had $1.5 million in the bank, that's now down to $200,000 when the revelations came out. That's a massive disparity in terms of how much she does not have headed into this final stretch. We're seeing Kelda Roys go up on TV in the Milwaukee market. Joel Brennan has been up on TV. We've heard Mandela Barnes is going up on TV. Money is everything in this final stretch, especially in a primary. Voters aren't really paying attention, right? There's baseball games, there's softball games, there's soccer games. There's a lot going on in the summer. So to grab their attention, you need rather large media buys. And some of these candidates, you just quite frankly don't know enough about. So at this point, money does a lot of power in terms of name recognition and name ID. We'll see once these reports are in how much this can carry the candidates and if some are in serious trouble headed into this final stretch.
Channel 12 political director Matt Smith with us on Wisconsin's Midday News. Now, talking about these reports, Matt, I have been hearing some of the candidates, potentially a Joel Brennan, could be doing a big public reveal of these numbers later today. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if you stand there with a PowerPoint presentation and go through line by line every single thing. And I was saying earlier to Greg, typically it doesn't feel like deadline day is this big public spectacle, but given what's happened with the Rodriguez campaign, it seems to be trending that way. Is there a possibility even she herself could do some sort of public unveil?
Well, I don't know if we'll hear from Sarah Rodriguez again in the near future. We'll have to see. Nothing I've seen has been scheduled. But you're right, Adam, to the point that the candidates are talking about these numbers a lot more than maybe they typically will. And there's a couple of things going on. First, they're saying, well, yeah, we're going to talk about our numbers. We're going to report them. But then there's also kind of a word of caution that I've started to sense from some of these campaigns saying, well, listen, when you see our cash on hand, it's because we're spending the money so rapidly. We're communicating. We're up on TV. So they're also trying to lower expectations a little bit when they saw everything happen with Sarah Rodriguez. But when you talk about if there are lower tier candidates in this, right, the conventional wisdom when you look at internal and public polling is you have Francesca Hong, Mandela Barnes, and you had Sarah Rodriguez in the top three. Kelda Roys and Joel Brennan this last week have fully capitalized on what's happening with the Rodriguez campaign. We'll see if they can actually put votes and support beyond what they're attempting to do and how their numbers look and compare to the other candidates, quite honestly.
So Joel joined us yesterday and said, he told us on this show, he's actively seeking the endorsement of David Crowley and Missy Hughes, who are on record for previously endorsing Sarah Rodriguez. Do you expect their endorsements to be redirected, or are they out of the endorsement game now?
That's the big question. We haven't heard publicly from David Crowley since all of this developed, or Missy Hughes for that matter. I know the campaigns are talking with them and would like that. Kelda Roys told me this afternoon that she has heard from people she says were supporters of Sarah Rodriguez, donors, lawmakers, advocates last week, and are now talking with her campaign. So we're seeing a lot of this behind the scenes jockeying going on for endorsements, for support, and most notably for money. We're going to have to see if this develops into anything tangible over the next couple of days, and if David Crowley or Missy Hughes would come out and say, I made a mistake, I'm now going with this candidate, which would prompt some pretty big headlines if that did happen.
You know, speaking of endorsements, Matt, going back to Francesca Hong, today touting a couple from the Wisconsin Muslim Civic Alliance as well as Citizen Action of Wisconsin. Now, she did tease with a very brief statement on the Rodriguez situation yesterday, some big news coming today that would show in the next 27 days they're on track. I don't know if these two endorsements would reach that threshold. Are we expecting with these reports that maybe it's somewhere in the dollars and cents?
Yeah, it like very likely could be within the dollars and cents, and how they frame it, right? Like the campaigns will spend a lot of time, Democrat, Republican, I don't care who you are, you will attempt to make the numbers look as good as you can, right? Like, so when they put out the top lines, it's interesting to watch. Are you talking about the last 6 months? Are you talking about your entire campaign? Are you focusing on cash on hand? Are you focusing on how much you spent, right? There's a number of ways to twist if you did or didn't raise a lot of money and how that looks. So actually looking at the finance reports once they are filed and butting those up to what the press releases look like sometimes may tell a little bit of a different story. We'll have to see this go around.
So, Matt, you have a debate that's scheduled on WISN June 28th, right? You're going to be headlining that, and you've got some interesting things to work with now over the last 48 hours, potentially. Any reason to believe that Sarah Rodriguez will not participate or drop out? And if she doesn't, do you have to tailor any questions to what happened here? Because that is going to be the elephant in the room if she is in the room.
Yeah. To this point, there is no indication that she isn't going to be there. We had, when we announced the debate, we had commitments from every single campaign, and nothing has changed from that perspective. So I guess, guys, as we sit here at this moment, there are 5 candidates in. I anticipate 5 candidates on stage. We'll see if anything happens between now and then. But Greg, to your point, yes, we are going to talk about the news of the day. We're going to talk about issues, but there's no way to ignore anything that happened this past week or anything that will happen in the next week and a half, because these are all questions about trust and leadership and who should lead the state. And for Democratic primary voters, who should carry that mantle to take on Tom Tiffany. So everything is fair game. Anything that happens, anything develops will be top line and top of mind in terms of our preparation. It just makes preparation for a debate incredibly scattered and flustered, and we'll have to be able to roll and go with anything.
Well, we are less than 2 months, or less than a month away, I should say, from the election here. Matt Smith, WISN Political Director. Matt, we appreciate your time. Great stuff. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah, you do the same. It's 2:26 here on WTMJ. We've got news coming up.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Siding Unlimited is truly siding and a whole lot more. Think about what on your house is starting to fail or maybe not look the right way. It's windows, siding, roofing, doors, you name it. Siding Unlimited's got the products. They got the installation teams to make everything better. Incredible installation teams. That's what separates Siding Unlimited from the rest. There's a lot of installers here that have great products to work with, but if they're not doing the right work with the installation, you're back to square one. Siding Unlimited gets this. They've got the awards to prove what I've been telling you for well over a decade. They are the best when it comes to installation of high-quality materials to protect and beautify your home's exterior. Point blank. It's Siding Unlimited. Showroom located in Brookfield, 665 Larry Court, near Gerke's Corner. Stop in, bring some photos, bring some ideas and thoughts out to their showroom, connect with their people, and you'll see some of those incredible products on display at their showroom. You'll get an idea for how it would look if installed at your place. It's Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
See every smile, every milestone, every moment that matters most. From the moment you walk into Shopko Optical, you'll feel welcomed, valued, and genuinely cared for. The team at Shopko Optical takes time to understand your concerns, explain your options, and answer questions so you feel confident in your care. Whether you're due for a comprehensive eye exam or looking for the right eyewear, they're here to support your vision and eye health every step of the way. Create your personalized eye care plan. Visit shopko.com today.
It happens without warning.
And when it's a truck crash, everything changes. Trucking and insurance companies know how to protect themselves after a crash. Call Gruber Law Offices and let us protect your rights. Never take on the insurance company alone. We've got the knowledge, skills, and resources to fight and win. And you pay nothing up front to get the help you need. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Every child in foster care deserves someone who believes in them. That's why La Causa is looking for more foster parents.
They never really checked on me, and that's why I appreciate La Causa tremendously, because they were the ones that showed me we care. I met my La Causa team, all brilliant people, and people that wanted to see me succeed.
That kind of care can change a life. Learn how you can become a foster parent with La Causa at lacausa.org.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Wednesday, July 15th. Your top story, campaign finance paperwork is due in a few hours.
I'm Adam Roberts. An update on a deadly pedestrian accident in Milwaukee.
Warm, humid, smoky tonight. Low of 72 after an afternoon high of 94. Heat index of 100.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. military has begun a second wave of airstrikes today against Iranian targets. Iran also starting to fire at U.S. facilities, it says, in the region. ABC's Karen Travers says President Trump is also ramping up the rhetoric.
We heard from the president in an interview that he did with Fox News. The president, again, putting that threat on the table to go after infrastructure in Iran, saying if Iran does not make a deal, he could potentially target bridges and power plants in that country. It's a threat we've heard from him in the past. He has said this repeatedly, but notable that this comes as the United States has, of course, escalated the strikes against Iran over the past week.
Smoke from more than 800 wildfires burning in Canada, drifting into the U.S., leading to widespread air quality alerts, and an orange haze settling over parts of Michigan, Niagara Falls, and New York. In the Southwest, torrential rain is the concern in parts of central Texas. Residents are bracing for life-threatening flash flooding once again. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:31.
Decision Wisconsin, a key deadline today as the latest campaign finance reports are due to the Wisconsin Ethics Commission. The filings will show how much money candidates have heading into the final weeks before the August 11th primary. Much of the attention is on Democratic gubernatorial candidate Sarah Rodriguez, who fired her campaign manager earlier this week over campaign finance reporting errors. J.R. Ross with WisPolitics tells Wisconsin's Morning News.
Number one, who has resources to communicate to voters the last 2 weeks of the race? And number two, how big a mess does Sarah Rodriguez have on her hands? Now, she announced a $1 million media buy a week and a half ago. She can't do that, obviously. How much does she have?
Candidates have until midnight tonight to submit their latest fundraising and spending reports.
There will be no prison time for a former Milwaukee police officer accused of stalking his ex-girlfriend.
I dedicated 11 years of my life to law enforcement targeting violent offenders, and I don't offer that as an excuse, but I just don't want that incident to reflect the person who I truly am and have been.
That was Josue Ayala before being sentenced to 1 year probation and fined $500 after he pleaded guilty. Prosecutors said Ayala used MPD's license plate reader database nearly 180 times, repeatedly searching an ex-partner's and another person's license plate. MPD says they've since strengthened oversight of the flock system and now require every user to reapply for access. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
One person is dead after being struck by a vehicle on Milwaukee's north side. Milwaukee police responded Tuesday night near 12th and Atkinson. 70-year-old William Spears was crossing the street in a wheelchair when he was struck by a vehicle. He died at the scene. The driver stayed at the scene and was arrested. Cause of the crash remains under investigation.
Frank's Diner in Kenosha is sold to new owners after a 17-year run.
Julie Rittmiller and Kevin Irvin say they are selling Frank's Diner to new owners Pablo and Deanna Escribano on July 31st. Pablo Escribano is a longtime employee of the business and has been interested in owning the 100-year-old institution for the past 3 years. The train car diner opened in 1925 and is the largest continuously operating diner in the country. The current owners are adamant that nothing is going to change. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
And smoke from wildfires in northern Minnesota and Canada will bring poor air quality to Wisconsin later this evening. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Lauren Larson moments ago on Midday.
I think we'll start to notice the smoke in the upper levels by dinner time. Sunset tonight is what I'm seeing on the models. So it should be a gorgeous sunset as we deal with that smoke aloft. And then I think we probably won't be able to smell the smoke on the surface until early tomorrow morning.
Heat advisory remains in effect till 8 o'clock tonight. The air quality alert continues through noon tomorrow. Your complete 5-day forecast is coming up.
New details as the Brewers acquire some pitching depth. Sports traffic and weather on the way next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:34.
Hey, John Mercure here from WTMJ. When it's time for a new vehicle, I know exactly where I'm headed. It's the place I bought my last car, and I love it. It's Griffin Ford in Waukesha. We buy our vehicles there. Right now is a great time to make your move because Griffin has one of the largest selections of new Ford vehicles in Wisconsin. That means you choose the color, trim, features you want. They're right there on the lot. They don't have to bring the car in from far away. You don't have to wait. Looking for an SUV? Griffin Ford has 47 new Ford Explorers to choose from. Savings over $8,400 on select 2026 Explorer active models. Need a truck? They've got more than 60 of those beautiful Ford F-Series pickups, including the popular F-150. Plus, qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 36 months on most new Ford models. And you'll receive a 2-year, 25,000-mile maintenance package included with most new vehicles. Shop at Griffin Ford in Waukesha, where I buy my cars. It's Griffin Ford.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here. I want to tell you about a healthcare team I personally trust, Jens Family Chiropractic in Germantown. Jens is my chiropractor, and they've become an important part of helping me stay healthy and active. Life can be demanding, whether you're spending long hours at a desk, chasing after kids, enjoying your favorite hobbies, or simply trying to feel your best. Aches and pains can get in the way. The doctors and staff at Jens focus on finding the source of your discomfort, helping you improve your overall health and your mobility. They provide personalized care where you feel heard and supported. I've experienced that care firsthand, which is why I'm proud to recommend Jens Family Chiropractic. Take the first step towards feeling better right now. The team at Jens Family Chiropractic is second to none. Learn more at jensfamilychiropractic.com. Experience the difference. That's jensfamilychiropractic.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. The Brewers acquire right-handed pitcher Lance McCullers Jr. and left-handed pitcher Colton Gordon and cash from the Houston Astros for outfielder Jaden Fielder, son of Prince Fielder. Brewers get back to work Friday night against the Marlins, unsure of when Jacob Mizorowski will make his next start.
We go back home and, get some treatment from our trainers and work out, get ready for whatever game they decide I'm going to throw. First game, second game, third game, fourth game, fifth game, somewhere there. I don't know.
Marlins visit Milwaukee Friday night for a 3-game weekend series. The World Cup resumes this afternoon. Argentina taking on England right now. There is no score in the match about 32 minutes into the first half. Winner takes on Spain in Sunday's World Cup final. And the Bucks continue Summer League play tonight against the Hornets. Been a nice Summer League for rookie guard Braden Berries, averaging 22 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals per game in Summer League play.
Off the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. First, an incident. It's on the exit to Highland from 43 South, just north of downtown Milwaukee. Not a ton of delays associated with this, but it could be a bit more problematic as afternoon volume starts to pick up. Right now, you'll start to encounter slowdowns once you get south of Center Street, and then they alleviate once you get towards the Marquette. Elsewhere, volume is kicking up on 4145. Delays now stretching from north of Good Hope Road all the way south towards Capitol Drive and northbound from Watertown Plank Road up towards Burleigh. Also just going to be a little tight right around American Family Field on 94 East and West. And some delays on 94 South from about the National Avenue area all the way down towards Oklahoma Avenue.
Heat advisory in effect till 8 o'clock tonight. Air quality alert in effect until noon tomorrow. It is hot. It is humid. It is 94 degrees. Heat index of 103. Overnight low in the 70s as that wildfire smoke starts to work its way to southeastern Wisconsin, maybe around dinner time or so. Smoky, warm, and humid on Thursday with a high of 85. Friday, mostly sunny, warm, and humid. Chance of an afternoon storm, a high of 90. Mostly sunny on Saturday, a high of 91. We cool off a little bit on Sunday with a high of 82. It's 93 degrees in Milwaukee at 2:39. Everything you need to know about the Sunshine Protection Act will take place in the next 5 minutes or
Let's
so.
do it, Greg.
It's a proposed federal bill that would make daylight saving time the permanent national standard, effectively ending the biennial practice of changing clocks. In other words, no more falling back in October or November or whenever the heck it is. Instead, more evening sunlight and later sunrises in the winter months. This did not exactly squeak by the House of Representatives. This was a vote of 308 to 117. So it's pretty lopsided here, right? Which indicates its bipartisan nature. It's not going to go to the Senate, and if it passes the Senate, it'll go to the desk of President Trump, who has already said he will sign it into law. But, and there's a big but here, any state legislature can choose to exempt its state from permanent daylight saving time. So if leaders in California don't like the idea of a potential sunrise at 8:30 in the morning, they can opt out.
So we're already starting to sense maybe a possible problem with this legislation, Greg.
Well, there are potentially multiple problems with it. Now, in California, depending where you live, the sun might rise at 8:30 in the morning. The sun might rise at 7:10 in the morning, right? That's a big state. And a lot of things get in the way of your sunrise, potentially. 2 states currently observe a permanent standard time. They are Hawaii and Arizona. Hawaii makes sense. Arizona's always been out on this. We're not. You guys play your foolish reindeer games. We're not doing it. Okay? 19 states already have a trigger law in place. In other words, the moment federal law allows for it, they will switch to permanent daylight savings. Wisconsin is not in that group, but 19 states are just waiting on the president, or I guess in this case, the Senate and then the president, to push things through, and they will adopt it.
So what you're telling me, Greg, is that because Wisconsin is not on that list, it is going to become basically our choice, and it's going to potentially have to go before maybe voters, or maybe it's just decided ultimately by the person who's in the governor's mansion.
It's been kind of a non-starter in Wisconsin to this point. Lawmakers introduced Assembly Bill 160 and Senate Bill 165, which aim to opt Wisconsin out of daylight saving time completely and move the state to permanent standard time. But both of those bills, they officially failed to pass. They died in committee. They never really went anywhere. It's been introduced, but it's not really gone anywhere. It would likely have to go somewhere after presidential approval.
Right. You kind of have to act on it.
You know what I mean, right? So now it's up to you, states. You do what you want to do. But really, it's not all that different from how states are operating today.
Do you think this could become partisan? And I know that's crazy to ask when it comes to politics and when it comes to the president, but could we see alignment on this issue maybe in states that have Republican leadership and are more keen to follow along with the president versus states who lean blue and maybe aren't so much? And then you've got suddenly a blue and red checkerboard of various time zones across the country.
Are you suggesting that political pressure may influence a state one way or the other?
No, I couldn't possibly be doing that.
Well, there is the possibility of incentives for states that do opt in. I don't know what those would be yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is some sort of package that entices those states to move ahead and move down this path after the president signs that off on it, which I do think is going to happen. I have no reason to believe this will not get through the Senate, and if it does, it'll be signed off on by the president. Look at states in the Northeast. This is interesting. Now, I don't know the political leanings of every state up in that world, from Rhode Island to Delaware to Connecticut to Maryland to Massachusetts and so on, but you do have, in many occasions, people who live in New Jersey and work in New York. Right? So if one state does it, one state doesn't, that gets a little hairy. Those states are very compressed. There's a lot of training back and forth, and where you live might not be the same state as where you work. Not unlike Illinois and Wisconsin, but To this point, anyway, Wisconsin and Illinois are in lockstep, right? They're operating in the same way that majority of states operate with daylight saving.
And to your point, it's much less of that interstate commuting for work than it is like when you have all those little itty-bitty states, which have a much more defined rail connectivity. So I see your point there. I don't know if 100% it would be the same here just because of that not much existing for work purposes. But yeah, it could present a problem if you go to work in Wisconsin and your commute time begins at 6:30 and you get to work and you're an hour later because it's just an hour ahead or an hour behind in Illinois.
It would definitely mean later sunrises here in the state of Wisconsin. Maybe not quite as what it would be out in California, but nonetheless, it would be a little bit later. And opponents of this have said, well, what about the bus stop? What about when you got the kids out at the bus stop? I got to tell you something. Middle school in our district, the bus picks up at like 6:30. It's dark anyway, oftentimes, in those months where school is going before daylight saving even hits. So, and then daylight saving hits, and it's just dark. It's dark anyway. So that is currently something that I know some families are working through on a yearly basis under the current system.
I will say we will lose the talking point we get 2 times a year on the radio and in the news of it's time to change your clocks forward. Well, it's time to change them back. But it will be conveniently replaced with a new talking point of, why did we do this in the first place? Or should we do this?
I don't know where this would go in the state of Wisconsin. But some states, such as Delaware, Utah, and Wyoming, have passed laws that say they'll hop on board if other states in their region do the same thing. So Delaware is a great example out here of what I mentioned before. They're just kind of compressed with all sorts of different states out there. They're small. So that would make sense. If Illinois and Minnesota do it, would Wisconsin then feel like, all right, guess we got to do this too? Because you do have people crossing the border to go to work.
I mean, I suppose, but just because Minnesota and Illinois have legal marijuana, that doesn't mean Wisconsin has been on board to do so. Michigan also included on that, though it maybe not be as black and white as that.
It's 2:46. We'll call it here on WTMJ. Thank you, Cheryl.
Veterans, have you explored your benefits lately? The Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs stands ready to serve Wisconsin veterans, their families, and their survivors. With our partners like your local county or tribal veteran service officer, we can help access the benefits you've earned and the support you need. For more information, please visit wisvets.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs with funding provided by the Milwaukee Brewers and the Brewers Community Foundation.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Your family, your memories, our priority. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Do you have an upcoming wedding, a bridal or baby shower, maybe a family reunion? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I highly recommend having your party at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. Half your dinners are free. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner's free every single night, even for special events. Choice steaks, seafood, pasta. How about the surf and turf? Any entree, buy one, get one free. Desserts, my favorite part, is buy one, get one free. Celebrate a birthday, an anniversary, a retirement, or just a quiet free dinner with your sweetie. Have your company employee appreciation dinner at the Fox and Hounds. Half your dinners are free, and it's a gorgeous setting right in the heart of the Kettle Moraine near Holy Hill. Spectacular views. Gift cards are also the perfect year-round gifts, as your second dinner is always free. Order online, and your gift cards will arrive shortly. I've done this many times. Reserve your wedding shower, rehearsal, or family dinner today. Half your dinners are free every night at the Fox and Hounds. Google, call, and reserve.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
From TMJ4, I'm meteorologist Jacob Montesano with your 5-day storm team forecast. For tonight, we will see mostly clear skies with lows dropping into the 70s with 90s expected again tomorrow, although the wildfire smoke will definitely keep some areas in the upper 80s, but air quality will remain low. For Friday and Saturday, we'll have a chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Not a slam dunk chance as temperatures will remain warm. Then next week, we'll start out warm, but there is some cooler temperatures just around the corner by the middle of next week. However, we still remain relatively dry with just a few on and off storm chances from Friday through early next week. I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano.
It is 94, feels like 104 in Milwaukee at 2:49. All right, so timing on that wildfire smoke, I think it's going to be interesting tonight. Here's what Lauren Larson has to say.
I think we'll start to notice the smoke in the upper levels by dinner time sunset tonight is what I'm seeing on the models. So it should be a gorgeous sunset as we deal with that smoke aloft. And then I think we probably won't be able to smell the smoke on the surface until early tomorrow morning.
Okay, so therein lies the alert here, the advisory for air quality in effect till noon on Thursday, and possible that it could be extended. I've noticed throughout the program here that the air quality index has steadily increased here for Milwaukee. We're still not in that area of nastiness. I think anything north than 100, you're starting to notice some differences, right? You're definitely starting to notice it. We're at 87 right now, but we've got notes on our text line saying it's getting pretty nasty up in the Fox Valley and areas north of that. And you, Adam, were following areas around Minocqua early this morning where it looked like a marine layer. Over the water. It was nasty.
You know, if you've ever been to the San Francisco area, that the fog just looks differently. It's almost got that gray tint to it when it's super thick. Yeah, that's what I was seeing both in the Minocqua area in our region. And then if you've ever been to Michigan, if you've been to Mackinac Island, very popular tourist area, well, there's a big bridge that basically bridges the gap in water between Lake Michigan and Lake Huron that you have to drive over. And when I looked at this picture earlier today, I couldn't even see the bridge. And it's not just like a small bridge. It's a big, giant green structure. And I was having a hard time even seeing it. We've actually got that up on our stream right now. If you text WATCH to 855-616-1620, you can see us as we're streaming on YouTube every day. But yeah, you can see it is pea soup. And this is, again, over this very large stretch of water near Mackinac Island that you cross to get from the UP to the LP of Michigan. You can barely see the thing.
Yeah, text a watch to our talk and text line. You'll see what we're talking about here, 855-616-1620. To walk you through the categories again, because we all became familiar with this a couple of years ago, but I had to refresh my own memory here. Where you want to be with air quality is really below 100, but 0 to 50, you're good. Everything's looking great. 51 to 100 is acceptable. Some might notice a little bit of eye irritation. If you're sensitive to air pollution, you might notice a couple of things. Where you start to get dicey is anything north of 100. Sensitive groups start to experience some health effects. General public, maybe less likely to be affected in that range. 150 to 200, again, general health issues for some of the more sensitive groups. But even those who are more on the healthy side definitely going to notice it. 200 to 300, that is a health alert. The risk of health effects is increased for everybody. Maroon is 300 and higher. That means just don't go outside, period. But likely anything above 150 to 170, you're going to notice it. It probably isn't going to be too comfortable outside.
And to gauge for people's memories, if you think back to 2023, when it was really, really, really bad here for a stretch of time, we were in that 200 and north of that category. Some of, if not the worst air quality in the world we had at that time in Milwaukee. Doesn't sound like we're going to get quite to that point, but as you mentioned, anything above 100, just take those extra precautions. Wear a mask if you have to be out for an extended period of time. It's fine. We'll get through it.
There is rain in the forecast potentially on Thursday, but if I remember correctly, it doesn't really help the air quality issue for one of those reasons. It's not like it just washes everything away when those raindrops fall. That is not the case. So what we have noticed is here in the forecast, temperatures showing a little cooler for Thursday with a high of 85. That the wildfire smoke could sort of keep that sun from penetrating like it normally does and heating things up like it normally does. So I don't know if it's exactly going to be better outside necessarily, but the temperatures will be likely a little bit cooler tomorrow.
Well, here's hoping, because I know you had a pretty a sticky situation rather at your house yesterday, in the 80s for some of your rooms, and it's definitely been that case over in the Roberts household too.
Yeah, it was 89 in our family room when I got home last night. So here's what happened: we had a power surge at our house, and it zapped something that our air conditioner needs to work properly, in short. But our friends at Quality Heating came out and took, about 25 minutes, pretty quick to diagnose the issue, had the part in his truck and installed it. So the air conditioning is back to working, but to get from 89 to 70...
That takes time.
Yeah, it's going to take more than a few minutes, right? You can't just go out for ice cream and come back and have everything be back to normal. So we did sleep in the basement last night. Everybody, including the dog, had fans going all over the place in the house, but it got back to normal. By the time we woke up this morning, we were back to 70 degrees in our living room and upstairs.
Well, here's hoping everyone stays safe and hydrated. We will get through this heat. We will get through this smoke, but going to be a rough go of it still for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit of the heat today, a little bit of the smoke tonight, and smoke definitely going to be an issue on Thursday. Wisconsin's Midday News podcast built by Siding Unlimited. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can find us, subscribe, take us with you wherever you go. Also, know that we're on YouTube. Stream us. Hop into our studios. You can comment on our YouTube page. All you got to do is search WTMJ's YouTube page.
From those with no experience to firearms enthusiasts, all are welcome at Mission 94 Firearms Education Center. The staff is deeply committed to providing a welcoming and engaging environment for everyone at every level. Learn the right way to handle firearms, level up your skills, and experience replica firearms from different historical eras while learning about their role in protecting our freedoms throughout history. Visit veteran-owned and managed Mission 94 in Kenosha today. Check out the 5-star reviews. Just Google Mission 94.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Comfort Awnings. My motorized retractable awning is already saving me from that hot summer sun. I love that I can enjoy my patio year-round thanks to Comfort Awnings. I just retract it when I want the sun and extend it when I need the shade. Comfort Awnings even come equipped with sensors that detect rain and strong winds. This year, reclaim your outdoor space for your friends and family to enjoy every season Wisconsin has to offer. Right now, get $250 off any awning or screen. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Your key to the very front office of the Milwaukee Brewers president of baseball operations and general manager Matt Arnold is our Brewers 360 guest every Thursday at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We're just coming off of a really good season that we're all proud of, and we would just want to keep building on that momentum.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Cannon and Dunphy, and Ridgetop Exteriors. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Wrapping up a Wednesday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News. John and Julia coming up in just a couple of minutes. So the Brewers made a trade official here. They're acquiring some pitching talent because their pitching is a little beat up right now.
Sure.
And by a little, I mean a lot. So Lance McCullers and Colton Gordon coming to the Brewers in exchange for Prince Fielder's kid, Jaden Fielder, being traded away at the age of 22. So who is Lance McCullers? Well, he was a top 10 Cy Young Award vote earner in 2021, but he's had all sorts of injuries, including this year. He's had Tommy John surgery back prior to 2021. He's had issues all over the place. When healthy, he's been pretty darn good. He's just not been healthy really much at all in the last several years. So they're kind of taking a flyer on him. But we'll see if anything pans out. He's been on the injured list since May 13th to be exact. So it's been a minute, 2 months since he has pitched in the big leagues, but they're kind of taking a flyer on him.
Yeah, and Colton Gordon also being thrown into this too. Lefty could make some move. This does feel like a pitching lab project potentially. I mean, we've seen it happen before. The Brewers have proven time and time again they can take scraps from another team that maybe it just isn't working out. Andrew Vaughn comes to mind. and maybe you make something out of nothing. So if you're reading into the ERA, I think you're maybe looking at the wrong stat when it comes to this guy. Who knows? Anything can happen with the pitching lab.
Yeah, Gordon is the more intriguing prospect because he's young. He's 27. He's only pitched in 5 games or 4 games this season. And again, the ERA is not great, but we've seen the Brewers do miracles with pitchers they acquire who were seemingly out on the scrap heap, and they were able to acquire them and turn them into something kind of special. So, and in the case of Gordon, there's control with him. He'll be around, or at least under Brewers' control, for a number of years. So, goodbye to Jaden Fielder, but hello to a couple of arms that could impact the Brewers' race toward a division title.
I'm with Eric, Director of Research for Good Karma Brands. They have business technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Eric, what